the low-value men.
The hijacker's passport was found blocks from the World Trade Center crash site. You can believe that. You can believe that. You can believe that.
Contracted COVID, but says with a mixture of medicines, including the controversial horse dewormer that has poisoned hundreds of people nationwide, he's now recovered.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?
From the headlines to the whispers dark, low value mail, we'll get the mark. Low value mail at 9 o'clock. We're truth fiction, take a walk.
Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon? You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
Our stories are.
Welcome back, everybody, to an all-new episode of Low Value Mail on this Monday, December 8th, 2025, the year of our Lord. Pour one out for my boy Connor. This would have been his 12th birthday today, but he didn't make it. It's a very sad day in the Polishchuk household today, but I am here. Rest in peace, Connor. It's a great dog. Welcome back, everybody. It's episode number 168 of Low Value Mail. Tonight on the show, we're talking about the N-word industrial complex. A black man in Portland acquitted of stabbing a white man because he was called the N-word. And former professional footballer in the UK convicted today for some offensive tweets. I guess you could say it's a bit of a free speech episode, or at least a discussion about said topic. Welcome back, everybody. Just a quick note. I was tinkering around with all the settings because I was noticing, like, the last episodes, they've been a little blurry. So I don't know if it's quality or what. And my trusted Gemini, which is, in my opinion, the best AI, go give it a try. But anyways, it told me to do a bunch of settings. I could eat my words right now because it told me to, for better quality, to change a bunch of settings in Streamlabs. So if for whatever reason this stream abruptly ends, I'll fire up a new one. So just look out for that on my channel, this channel right here. But let's hope that it doesn't happen. So far, so good. And I hope it looks a little clearer. Trying to stream in 4K. Also, shout out to anybody watching on Facebook tonight. We're streaming on the Low Value Mail Facebook page for the first time today. Trying that out. Also, shout out over on Twitter, Rumble, all the places. All right. And the phone lines are going to be open in a bit. We're going to open phone lines. You can call in anything about you like. No rules. Other than don't be boring. That's the only thing I ask. Just don't be boring. And next week I'll be back with a guest. I'm only doing open lines again this week just because I'm testing something out. That's all I need to say. I'm trying something out, and I just need to do one more open line stream just as a final test, and then we'll be back with a guest next week. All right. Before I start, do me a favor, support the show, like the stream, like it. Just hit that like button, share with a friend, leave a comment, or of course, if you want to monetarily support the show, patreon.com/lowvaluemail, MAIL. Certainly I cannot make as much money on my Patreon as some 45-year-old woman at a Cinnabon saying the N-word, but I'm going to try. And on that note, Crystal Therese Wilsey, we're going to discuss her. The N-word industrial complex, as I have coined it, as I have coined it, you might say. Over the weekend, a video showing a Cinnabon employee in Wisconsin named Crystal Therese Wilsey went viral after she was recorded calling a Somali couple the N-word and proclaiming that she is racist. As you would do, I suppose. People tagged her employer, Cinnabon, makes a pretty good cinnamon bun, I suppose, on social media, who then responded by saying, "We've seen the disturbing video from the Cinnabon Bakery in Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin, and we do not condone this behavior. The former employee was immediately terminated by the franchise owner. Their actions do not reflect our values or the welcoming experience every guest deserves. At Cinnabon, a Give, Send, Go was set up with a $20,000 goal. It was then up to $109,110, and then in the last few hours has been increased to $271,310. What oddly specific goal amounts? Not sure what the Jews have to do with this one, other than it is always the Jews. Especially when you think it's not the Jews, that's when it is for sure the Jews. She's raised, last I checked, roughly $115,000. Good for her. Similar to Shiloh Hendricks, who raised over $700,000 for calling a black child the N-word at a playground in Minnesota in May. Now, guys, I am talking to you, the viewer of this show, some of you specifically. I'm talking to you. If you're dropping N-bombs in public and you're not getting paid for it, what are you doing? What are you doing? Because you're fucking up. You're doing this shit wrong. Because there are women who are sixes top. These are single moms. This chick has 3 kids. Shiloh Hendricks, I think, has 1, maybe 2. These are sixes. This woman's like 45, maybe 50, works at Cinnabon. Not a ton going for her. 6 figures. Dropping N-bombs at work. You suckers are doing it for free. Also, what is this phenotype, by the way? Because both of these women, Shiloh Hendricks and Crystal Therese Wilsey, they kind of look like very similar. There is something odd going on there, you must admit. The fact that they kind of look the same. Now, I know a common response on Twitter is this is some sort of payback, some kind of retribution for the Carmelo Anthony, not the basketball player, raising over $500,000 after murdering Austin Metcalf earlier this year. And this is certainly a result of whites being demonized. This is a bit of voting with your wallet, right? This is a real fuck you voting with your wallet scenario where we go, we like this type of stuff. This stuff should be allowed to happen. We're going to support it, right? And the funny thing is this incident in Wisconsin and this corresponding fundraiser is a way bigger story on the right than on the left. I was looking at it today. I mean, it may shock some of you, but I actually spend a lot of time researching these episodes to bring you this quality content. Not a ton of people are... This isn't like a big discussion on the left. They obviously, TMZ reported this and people are just like, that's disgusting. And I can't believe this person is getting all this money in a fundraiser. But for the most part, this is, you go on Twitter, seems like an 80-20 thing here of people talking about this on the right versus the left. Definitely some people on the left talking about it, but a fraction. It seems like a fraction to me. Now, this is the story that's circulating online. If you haven't caught up, the story circulating online is that a Somali couple was sexually harassing Wilsey for no reason, which then led to her outburst. The Somali couple claims, and I found their TikTok. This is their claim. Their claim is this is what the woman specifically wrote. She wrote, they ordered a caramel pecan cinnamon roll and, quote, when the lady was squeezing the caramel, she put a little bit. And then I asked her if she can put some more because it's not enough. Already I'm on these people's side. Can't tell you how many times you're in some sort of service thing. I just ate at Chipotle and you're like, thanks for the 4 crumbs of chicken. Can I have another piece of chicken, please? The caramel appeared to be running low, and I asked, "Are you running low? Do you not have any more?" Then she said she will warm it up a little because she doesn't want it to be too hot and hurt herself. Then she said, "You could see me squeezing it through that witchcraft bandana you're wearing on the top of your head," referring to her hijab. Which is when the couple then pulled out their camera, began filming, and the incident that we saw occurred. Right? Now, I know which version of events sounds more plausible to me, which is specifically that of the Somali couple. To think that the video in question, you go, that's where it started, nothing else happened. They rolled up on this woman, this white woman working at a Cinnabon in the mall in fucking wherever, Wisconsin, and they just started talking shit about how immodest she was. That's what you would essentially have to believe here. But based on what I've seen, I'd say that scenario seems more likely. And look, anybody who works in a food court, in a mall, especially when you're probably, in your mid-40s, she's a single mom, she's got a few kids, you're liable to snap at any point, okay? I think, I'm surprised they're not snapping more than they do, to be perfectly honest. The fact that they're ever polite with you at all, I don't know if that's an indication of just how tight the job market is in this country, where you're like, look, I just cannot get another job, so I have to be on my best behavior. But these are minimum wage jobs. These people are absolutely replaceable. AI is 100% going to replace all these people. Your Cinnabon is going to be made by a fucking robot in 5 years, okay? You will be telling your kids in 10 years, you wouldn't believe it. When I was younger, I would come to the food court in the mall, and at the Cinnabon, there'd actually be a person working there, and sometimes she would call black people the N-word if she was having a bad day, which... who can't say they're not guilty of that, right? Who can't say they're not that guilty of that? Now, I'm sure some of you probably, lack some sort of objectivity, I'll say, and probably believe that the Cinnabon employee her story is just, that's what happened, and here's $20 for her. And if that's the case, it's a free country. But the idea that they just, for literally no reason, and there's not even a big Somali population in Wisconsin. It's actually tiny, because I saw a lot of people being like, oh, this is just like Somali fatigue. But you're like, there's 2,700 Somalis in all of Wisconsin. So I can't imagine it's 0.05% of the entire population. I can't imagine that many people could cause a fatigue, if you will. Who knows? I found Wilsey, this woman, the Cinnabon worker's TikTok, where she's been trying to be an influencer for some time, hawking just random affiliate products. You can tell she really hates her fucking job and just wants to be a TikTok influencer so badly. Just whatever bullshit products in the affiliate shop on TikTok, she's hawking just, to her 6,000 followers, doing embarrassing dances, trying to sell God knows what, like electrolyte powders and bullshit, collagen, stuff like that. Which I get that is way better than working at Cinnabon in the fucking mall when you're an adult. But she made a video where, kind of addressing this whole thing, where she claimed to have CPTSD, which is, I think it's like complex PTSD or something. It's just like it's like a woman, probably more like WPTSD, if you know what I mean, where you go, is that a real thing? And you go, it is, but like it isn't, if you know what I mean. It's just, I'm loco. As well, she said she can't be racist because her son, and this is a quote, is colored. Where did they find this woman? Her son is colored. However, the New York Post reports that she clarified that her son actually just has a health condition that makes his skin darker. So he's not colored in the sense that, like, different water fountains. He just tans well. I guess. To the people who are up in arms over Cinnabon firing this employee, what are they supposed to do? She isn't particularly valuable to their company. She's very replaceable. She makes $15 an hour tops, doing a job that a 14-year-old is qualified for and realistically should be doing. Again, I would never criticize anybody who's working to support their family, but probably your time could be better spent as a 45-year-old, what looks to be, based on her TikTok dances, somewhat able-bodied woman. If that's what she likes to do, it doesn't seem like that's what she likes to do. But again, what's Cinnabon going to do? They're like, no, we stand behind our employee calling random people in the fucking food court the N-word. Like, what are they going to do? The fact that people are like, yeah, you should let her keep her job. You should I'm sure some of you live in some kind of fantasy land where a minimum wage employee should just be able to berate a customer and just go back to their job. Look, if I get a coffee at Dunkin' Donuts and they mess up my order, I not only want that employee fired, I want them unemployable. But that's just me. Maybe that's a little heavy-handed on my part. That's what I want, okay? The idea that you're like, yeah, you should just have some worker just really give him a piece of your mind because you're trying to get, what was it, a caramel Cinnabon? Pretty reasonable. Not I. And look, if something happens where the customer is the aggressor, sure, there's a bit of wiggle room there. I'll concede. We all love a good Waffle House fight video, don't we? 2 a.m, unruly group is kind of just being a little lippy with the fucking kitchen staff. And the kitchen staff just kicks their ass, or a waitress kicks their ass. And you go, that's justice. I feel good about that. This is not that. And white people are kind of doing the exact same thing that they accuse black people of doing with the whole George Floyd stuff, and others specifically, making heroes out of some of the worst people. These are not the people that you want to make heroes from. And look, good for this woman, by the way. If you think I'm shitting on this woman, I am not, because this could not have worked out better for her. Assuming there's no disorderly conduct charges incoming, like Shiloh Hendricks, this is a minimum wage job. You think when you go to apply to work at McDonald's, they Google your fucking name? I don't think so. They just hope you won't quit in 2 weeks. So she gets 6 figures, which is likely for her probably 3-year salary. She's getting a 3-year severance, Christmas time off, and then she could just go get some new shitty job in the new year. This worked out great for her. Stuff like this really only further cements the fact that the United States truly is the greatest country in the world. Like, upward mobility is so attainable in this country where it's literally become a career path to call a black person the N-word on video and get paid handsomely for it. What a fucking country. Now, to some more N-word news. This is out of Portland. A black man was acquitted of stabbing a white guy because the white guy used the N-word after the attack. Now, the black man claimed that the white guy used it before the attack and therefore was justification to stab him. However, the only evidence they have is of him using it after the fact. Regardless, and this is a big debate. I see this on the internet all the time. You go, oh, I get stabbed for some herdy words. And you go, yeah. Now, obviously, you should be legally accountable for doing the stabbing. But if you think you can just go walk around the Bronx, maybe the Bronx is a bad example, go walk around Harlem and just call everyone the N-word and then be like, I can't believe I got beat up. I can't believe I got stabbed. You people, and they're just words. Now, to a degree, I can see that that's true. But you are going to get stabbed. You get stabbed in New York City for asking someone to turn their speaker down on the train. You think you're not getting stabbed for calling them the N-word? Honestly, if I was ever to turn ask someone to turn their speaker down on the train, I probably would also use the N-word just because I'm like, I'm getting stabbed anyways. I might as well live a little. Both men in this are homeless in Portland, and video from transit cameras showed Gary Edwards, who's the black man, approach Gregory Howard Jr., the white guy, who was sitting on a bench from behind with a fixed blade knife in his hand. There's no audio on the video, but Edwards' defense attorney, Daniel Small, told the jury his client was approaching Howard to see if he would trade his knife for cigarettes. Imagine a guy runs up on you from behind holding a fucking knife out, and the expectation is that you're just to assume he wants to trade it for some cigarettes. Like he's running at you with a knife and he's like, hey, you want to trade this for some cigarettes? And then you're like, whoa, you fucking think you're getting stabbed? Pretty reasonable. Fucking lawyers, huh? That's, I mean, I guess that's the best that lawyer could come up with. He goes, yeah, he was running at him with the knife because he wanted to barter. He wanted to trade him the knife. He was so excited to trade him this knife that he just couldn't contain himself, and he just wanted to show him the knife so badly. Police body camera footage captured Howard calling Edwards the N-word in the aftermath of the attack after cops rushed over to intervene. And, you know, look, here is an instance where, in my opinion, the use of the N-word, probably somewhat justified. But it also, in a M. Night Shyamalan twist, turns out the black guy was actually doing everybody a favor because the white guy had a 1997 conviction for felony rape of a child. So there's that. But again, the precedent in this country where you can just get stabbed for saying the N-word and then the person stabbing you faces no consequences, probably not good. I think getting fired from your job for using, like, look, just no N-words at work, right? You just got to avoid it at all costs at work if you're not black. Just avoid it. Unless you live in New York, and then if you're Hispanic, it's fine. But if you're a white dude, white gal, no N-words at work. Unless, again, you have such a shitty job. Like if you work in construction or something, and then like you're getting a fucking, I don't know, 100K on a GoFundMe probably. If you're a woman, obviously. I saw there's a couple guys. There's like that Chud guy who he didn't pull his gun, but he had a gun. There was some black youths, some YNs in a parking lot somewhere, and they were like parked in, I think, like a handicap spot or a loading zone. And then the guy was like kind of getting into it with them, and then they started arguing with him, and he had a whole thing. And I think he only got like 25,000, and he's like, my life is in peril. And you're like, yeah, because you're not a chick. You're not a mid 45-year-old woman with 3 kids. That is, talk about unfair, huh? Talk about unfair. Dylan Farnham 1488 says, Danny, well, what was she wearing, Paul's Chuck? It's always a valid question. It is always a valid question. We're going to open up the phone lines very shortly. I just want to discuss one thing out of the UK, and then, you know what? Okay, Gerard's here. I'm going to open up the phone lines now. I'm going to talk about one more thing, and then we can get to it. 1-888-949-2969. We have Gerard on the ones and twos, on the phones, answering your calls. Joey Barton. I don't know if anybody knows who this is. I didn't know who he was until 2 hours ago. Today in the UK, a former professional footballer, Joey Barton, was convicted of grossly offensive posts on social media and given a suspended 6-month prison sentence, over £20,000 in fines, and 200 hours of community service. His offending tweets, he was referencing a Miss Ward and a Miss Aluko, one of them being black, one of them being white, both former professional female footballers. These were the tweets. He said, Ward and Aluko are the Fred and Rose West of football commentary. This was posted after their commentary on the FA Cup game, which is, I believe, the men playing. Barton also shared an edited image superimposing their faces onto a photo of the West being a famous serial killing couple from the UK from the 80s. Basically, he's making a joke. These chicks suck. right? That's the joke, is he goes, these chicks stink at football commentary. Let's hear the boys, okay? That's all he was saying. That was the joke he made, okay? The next one he said was only there to tick boxes. DEI is a load of shit. Affirmative action, all off the back of the BLM George Floyd nonsense, referring to a Luco's role as a pundit. Now, this is what literally a ton of men think. Probably some women too. I'm not saying by default all women doing sports broadcasts are bad. Doris Burke in the NBA, phenomenal. She's phenomenal. She is a GOAT. She is one of the best of all time, right? But no one wants to turn on men's sports. Like, you don't want to turn on a fucking hockey game, the NHL or the NBA or the NFL or whatever, and it's just a bunch of women, okay? Nobody wants that. Even if they're hot, you go, I don't want this. Like, there's a reason they have cheerleaders. I don't want this. I want a bunch of ex-players, maybe some color guy, not colored. He could be colored as well, but color guy. And you want some dudes who used to play, like, the ESPN, formerly TNT, with, Chuck and Ernie and Shaq and all that stuff. They nailed it. They fucking nailed it. Kenny the Jet, perfect, right? And it's weird because when you watch the WNBA, it's all women. And that's fine. I don't watch the WNBA, but if I turn on the WNBA and I go, oh, their broadcast team's all women, you go, that makes sense. Oh, they all played professional basketball. They're women. They're covering women. That makes sense, which is what it is. Maybe one guy, but mostly it's former players. And that's fine and how it should be. But then they do this reverse thing with the guys where they go, no, you have to have a bunch of women now. We don't want this. And now, while both of these women were obviously, accomplished female soccer players, the outcome of forcing all this DEI on people is, of course, the moment you see anyone, you assume that's why they are there. You remove the meritocratic element from everything. So unless it's a white guy who, if it's a white guy, you go like, man, that guy must be really good at his job. That guy must be incredible. But if it's not a white guy, then it's natural that you just think, yeah, I guess this is like some sort of DI thing because we're in the era of DI. Some other tweets that this guy got popped for is in relation to a man named Jeremy Vine, who's just like a newscaster dude in the UK. He said, Epstein Island reference. He said, have you been on Epstein Island? Are you going to be on these flight logs? Might as well own up now because I'd phone the police if I saw you near a primary school on your bike. And he says, oh, at the Jeremy Vine, did you, Rolf Aru and Schofield, go out on a tandem bike ride? You big bike nonce ya. I guess nonce is like kind of a pedophile. It's like calling someone a pedophile. This references Rolf Harris, Rolf Aru, convicted sex offender, and Philip Schofield amid scandal rumors. And then he also said, if you see this fella by a primary school, call 999, which I guess is like 911 in the UK. They do everything so weird there. And this guy's big deal is he drives like or he bikes around on like kind of, it's not like a penny farthing, but it's like one of those weird like small tire bikes in the front. And they're like one of those like collapsible bikes, but I guess he's somewhat famous in the UK. And they just, they had some like Twitter back and forth. And then he also said, beware man with camera. And he always has a camera on his helmet. And he says, beware man with camera on his helmets cruising past primary schools, alluding to Vine's bike helmet camera. So basically just being like, this dude's a fucking pedo. Which, look, this stuff, seems pretty benign and should be more in the realm of defamation. But a suspended sentence, suspended 6-month prison sentence. I believe it was actually 18 months is what his conviction was. And I just gave him a suspended 6-month prison sentence. This is the kind of shit going on in the UK. I mean, if I lived there, like, everybody talks shit about the UK online. You go, man, this is really bad. Like, again, maybe this is defamation. Go sue the guy. I don't know if do they not have defamation laws in the UK, but this seems like that's what that should be. But nothing I said, like I would get the fucking death penalty if I lived in the UK for the shit I say. And I don't say anything that bad, but none of this is bad. Like, to say that a public figure, like, imagine you see someone on the TV, you go, yeah, I can talk as much shit as I want about any person I see on the TV. Anything's fair game. Like, I could go right now, I see fucking Brian Stelter, I guess he's not on TV anymore. I guess he's on TV sometimes, or my boy Jake Tapper, or anybody. Rachel Maddow, you go like, Rachel Maddow looks like a pedophile. You're like, you don't go to jail for that. I guess you do in the UK now. I guess that's what they're doing. And then you got to get fucking sentenced by one of these like assholes in a powder wig. Insane. If Trump had any smarts, he would just be like, yo, any of you who have any skills whatsoever in the UK, you get a green card. If you have any skills whatsoever the United States needs, and you're white, come on over here. We'll take you. All right, let's get to the phone lines. Before I do so, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you're an audio listener, specifically on Spotify, follow my page on Spotify, leave a review, all that stuff, share it on Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is. And if you enjoy the show, please consider supporting patreon.com/low-value-mail, M-A-I-L. Also, if any of you want to see me, I know some of you have caught me on the road doing stand-up. I'm going to have a lot of stand-up dates next year. So if you want to find out when those are, you can sign up for my mailing list, dannycomedy.com. And unfortunately, no episode of The Bathhouse tomorrow night. Not my fault. The stand would not give me spots on Tuesdays, and I have a spot at the Comedy Cellar tomorrow night, which obviously I'd rather do than the Bathhouse. If the Comedy Cellar let me do the Bathhouse at the Comedy Cellar, then I could do both. But it's not how it is. But maybe it'll change in the future. Who knows? All right, let's take some calls. Phone lines are open, 1-888-949-2969. Oh, and I want to hear from you. And obviously, you don't have to call in specifically about the topic. Anything you want to talk about can be discussed. We're going to go to our former producer, Mystic Mark. Haven't talked to him in a minute. Exciting. Hello.
Yo,
What's up, buddy?
Danny.
How you doing?
Wow, this is interesting. Seeing the show from the other side.
Yeah.
I missed you, pal.
Yeah, I miss you too. How you been?
I've been great. It's funny. I thought of you today because a gentleman that listens to my podcast was in town, and I gave him a tour. He's from Vancouver, so I was hanging out with
Nice.
with a guy. He sounded a little bit like you because he grew up in Toronto.
Okay.
But yeah, I gave a Canuck a tour today.
Nice.
But I've been good, man. I've been doing a lot of things and just trying to keep the podcast afloat. My family thinks I'm crazy podcast, but
yeah. And you're doing your show. You're doing the Kurp with Derp.
Yes. Right around the time that you and I parted ways, I started working for Kurt. He gave me an opportunity to produce his pod, and I just printed some shirts too that we're going to be
the Sherp with Derp
as merch. But
is it? Did you say the Sherp with Derp?
It's a play on the old. Yeah, it's a play on the old Dare T-shirt, and it says "Derp to keep Kurp off Slurp or Serp." So yeah,
buy the Sherp.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun. The Sherp is great. Kurt talks a lot more than the guests, but that's all right.
Oh yeah, I hung out with him a lot when I was in New Orleans at Skankfest, and he's the guy knows a lot. He's got a lot of opinions, man. He fucking that guy can.
How was Skankfest?
Skankfest was great. It was great. It was a fantastic.
I just watched the live Duncan Trussell episode where Kurt and Greg Fitzsimmons were alongside of Duncan for basically an interview with Tom O'Neill, which did we had Tom O'Neill on your show, right? Or was that
I do not believe
so.
No, I don't believe we've had.
Okay, so we got to get. I'll put you in touch with him because you should interview him. But Tom O'Neill was on.
Hey, do you have any? I saw someone tweet about this.
podcast.
Do you have any theory? Remember that guy John Cullen? I saw someone tweet about this in the. Do you know him, John Cullen?
Yeah.
Do you know what happened to him?
Yeah. What about him? I'm only hearing about this now.
Well, dude, so he came on my show like 2 months ago, right after Charlie Kirk got assassinated, and he was saying all this stuff about there was all these spy planes around Provo in Utah. Goob tweeted or posted in the chat. And then he used to tweet like fucking 10, 20 times a day.
Oh, John is the gentleman with the glasses and the bald head, right?
Yeah, and he originally did all the work on the Las Vegas shooting, and he hasn't tweeted since October 12th. October 13th was his last tweet, so almost 2 months. He used to tweet like every day, many times a day, and he started getting in all this stuff about these spy planes everywhere in Provo. And then now I wonder if he died.
Huh.
I just
Interesting.
maybe figured you might have a little more ear to the ground than me.
No, I mean, honestly, I feel bad. I should be keeping track of people I've booked on shows, but
yeah.
No, I'm just seeing on X and Instagram posts about it, but everything, I mean, John Cullen's such a common name. There's a bunch of other posts about missing people in the UK and such. So, no, I'll see if I can, network and find out more, and I'll get back to you on that. But I wanted to bring up the Tom O'Neill thing because he mentioned a couple things that, and I'm sure this is all in his book, which has been out for a while now, but it took him 20 years to write that book about, ostensibly Charlie Manson, but really MK Ultra. And what you're seeing with that book is the mainstreaming of MK Ultra, for worse or for better. I'm always going to be on the side of let's let the truth out, for the most part. But, you have to have noticed that, obviously, comedians like Kurt talking about this has influenced other comedians, but I feel like MK Ultra has become something of a household name, maybe thanks to certain television shows. But one of the threads that came up with Tom O'Neill was Dr. Jolyann West, and he was one of many of the CIA's sort of drug clinicians testing on people during the whole Summer of Love and whatnot. But a lesser known guy that I wanted to bring to your show as a hot scoop exclusive for the Low Value Mail show.
Nice, let's hear it.
There's a doctor, and he's a tiny hat, so maybe one of your brethren.
Concerning.
Watch out, Slav. Watch out, Slav. So Jacob Maxens. Let me make sure I have his name correctly. I had it queued up, but he's basically, his nickname is Dr. Feelgood, and if you look up that term, Dr. Feelgood, you'll find this book about how he was basically like the doctor for celebrities in the time of JFK.
Max Jacobson.
Yeah, Max Jacobson. So he was like basically allegedly behind the death of Marilyn Monroe.
Oh yeah, I heard this stuff coming out last week
Presley,
where Marilyn Monroe was killed, was drugged.
Even Frank Sinatra, Judy Garland, Walt Disney, Mickey Mantle, and Truman Capote. So
Mickey Mantle
pretty famous
as well.
People. Yeah, pretty famous people. Some of them have died of strange circumstances, and they're all connected to this guy who, according to the mainstream, had miracle cures, which were concoctions of what he claimed were vitamins, enzymes, animal placentas, and small amounts of hormones. But I just had someone on my podcast, maybe I can get you in touch with this person, that explained how vitamins are really just a scam, and vitamin A is just like one of the main, and I might sound like a complete dingbat or dumbass to somebody who knows chemistry right now, so excuse me if this is bad secondhand information. But according to this guest I just interviewed, vitamin A is the same ingredient in rat poison. It's just a matter of dosage.
Okay.
And I've heard other things like that, like fluoride in small doses. We use it for, cleaning our teeth, but in large enough doses, I think it's the same thing as Prozac or one of these drugs that was invented during the old The old camp days that Slav says didn't happen, right?
Sure.
That whole time period.
That whole wacky time.
So it's the old camp out.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I've always
anyways,
been
just
I've
a
always
couple
been of the idea that vitamins are mostly a scam.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm not a big vitamin guy. I'm trying to think if I take any.
And
I take creatine.
I mean, if you're not washing your legs, why are you taking vitamins? Right?
Honestly, the only thing I take is creatine and protein powder. That's it. Those I know are real. I feel like vitamins are a total scam. Trying to do well.
For sure. And maybe you don't need a guest to come on and tell you that. But nonetheless, it might be interesting.
Yeah. Send me a link to his stuff. I'll check it out.
Okay, will do. And it is a female, so.
Ooh,
so you know.
Is she crazy like the bee lady?
Oh, if you want some more crazy ladies, I'll bring you some more crazy ladies.
I like the bee lady. She was those
yeah,
eyes. There was nothing going on behind there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a strange case with that one.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I'm not in contact with them at all. I was just
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, cool, Mark.
But
good talking to you, buddy. Go ahead.
They texted me. It's funny you say that because they texted me out of the blue 3 days ago, and I was like, "Holy shit! Do I need to block this person's number from my phone?"
What you want?
So, okay, but anyway, Danny, you're the best. And
hey, buddy.
From
you
one
too, man.
One producer to another, tell Gerard, step it up. He needs to answer the phone and say, "Hello, you called in a low-value mail." He asked me who I was. I'm like, you got to tell me who you are. I'm calling into the show, so tell him.
All right, Gerard, take some notes. He's listening right now.
Low-value mail. You have called in. What is your name? That come on, that's easy. He can do it.
All right.
Love
Gerard,
you, Danny.
take
Bye.
notes. Later, buddy. Mark's everybody. Mystic Mark. All right, phone lines are open. 1-888-949-2969. I only have a few calls on the line here. I don't know if you're a little too bashful to call in, if you don't want to get sued. But call in. Someone asked, what's Canada's Mossad? It's called CSIS. It's Canada's Mossad. Lauren Southern had some YouTube video. I know she's like kind of, for the most part, disappeared, but she had some YouTube video where CSIS was like on her ass trying to like turn her into an informant or something. I watched a few minutes of it. It was pretty interesting. All right. Let's take a call. Phone lines are open. 1-888-949-2969. We're going to go. Oh, so many options here. So many options. Let's go to Slav. Let's see what Slav's saying. Normally we try to save Slav for later in the show, but we'll go early. Slav.
Hey.
What's up, man?
Hey, happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Connor.
Yeah. Thanks, Slav.
Yeah. You didn't know on any other news stories?
That's kind of what I went with. What else is there? Did I miss anything? I figured I would try. I'm like, I don't know. I got to talk about fucking Venezuela again I caught half of Nick Fuentes on whatchamacallit on Piers Morgan. I only listened to half. And then I guess there's the Tim Pool thing where people shot at his house, which I know it seemed like Candace Owens was implying that didn't happen, which was kind of funny coming from her, of all people. But I mean, I've been to Tim's place many times, and I know that the issues he's had. So, I mean,
do you skateboard there?
I can't skateboard, but he has literally at his compound like a mini airplane hangar with a full half pipe. It's pretty sick. If you are into skateboarding, you would be really pumped to be there.
Yeah, I took him always for more of a rollerblading guy.
Who, me?
So
I used to rollerblade actually. Yeah, I did actually. You used to rollerblade a little bit.
Yeah, you kind of got that fairiness to you.
Thank you.
Figured more you're more of a skier than a snowboarder.
No, I've never skied actually. I've only snowboarded. Oddly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I can't explain it. All right, what's up, Slav? Let's see your take on this N-word business.
Yeah, you want to dive into this, bro?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I mean, well, first off,
did you support
my
first question? Did you support the GoFundMe?
I knew I didn't have to do anything. I just saw it and I'm like, she getting paid, bro.
Yeah, she's getting paid.
I knew.
I'll tell you, I do not fault her one bit for her getting paid. She didn't even set it up. Does it bother you that people are making so much money off of saying the N-word and you just do it for free?
For the love of the game, my nigga. So, for the love of the game.
Yeah, she's at $118,800 right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't see me groveling.
No. I mean, it's because you're not doing it in the right places. You got to go to like a McDonald's or something, or like somewhere. You got to do something. You got to be a little more creative with it. You're just calling into this show. We can't even see your face.
But see, that's the thing. That's the thing. Of course, it'd be your kind to build up some crisis actor moment. No, these things they come out of it. It's got to be genuine. It's got to be authentic.
Of course, it has to be.
There's no point in like making it like a choreographed.
Yeah, like you're saying. You're saying it has to be organic. You can't manufacture something like this.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm sure conversations are being had in private with people who are like, how do we manufacture something like this? I'm sure those conversations are being had. They've been had where people are like, because I know a lot of people said with the Shiloh Hendrix, people were claiming it was fake. I saw a million tweets where they're like, this is a setup. This is fake.
I mean, and dude, now we realize what people have been saying all along is that kid, that little Somali motherfucking.
I don't think the kid was Somali.
No, they were all Somali. And
the kids were Somali too. Yeah, I know they said he was autistic, and then it came out where they all fake autism.
Exactly, and guess who was being called crazy for claiming that they were doing that bullshit?
Oh, okay.
People defending her.
Right. Yeah, because I remember with her, people. I haven't heard anyone say this one's fake, but I did see people saying Shiloh Hendrix was a setup.
We know you've said it before. It's all right,
That Shiloh Hendrix was fake? I've never said that. I thought that was
no. We know you've said both iterations of the word.
Oh, of course. I mean, when I was a teenager in my 20s, I loved rap music.
Oh,
I've never used it disparagingly. I've only used it in what I deem to be an appropriate context.
Yeah, you've driven in traffic before. Come on, let's
I don't know if this is my living in Canada, but I can tell you that whenever I had any problems on the road, it was not them. I don't know if that's different in New York or whatever, but generally when I had a hint of road rage, it was not them. It was not the blacks. It was never a Nissan Altima.
So all these situations, not just with the simians, but with your kind as well.
Mm-hmm.
You notice how the white man, we don't have. There's no word that ever hurts us.
No.
I mean, with the simian, it's that one magical word, and then with your kind, as so ever pointed out by the Honorable Malcolm X,
yeah,
you can accuse the Jew of being a liar, a thief, a murderer, and it all comes down off of them like water off a duck's back.
Sure.
But as soon as you call them a Jew, they recoil.
I've been called a Jew many times. I've never recoiled it once.
But when they get exposed for it, what is nice about the coloreds is that they are colored. It's like God made them with like a built-in warning feature. It's like a little hazard logo, but it's their entire skin.
I mean, well, there's parts of them that are white.
If you don't, the bottoms of their feet. That's why they want to be white. Yeah, we all heard the song.
I've never heard the song.
But what is it? Yeah, Johnny Rebel. It's the song Alabama Nerds. Yeah,
okay.
That's what it's called. But what is it? Even if you can't see them, you can hear them. You can hear them before you see them. It's like a really nice warning label. But with your kind, for those who are uninitiated and can't really tell the physiognomy all the way,
yeah,
you can't recognize somebody. Yeah, see, that's why I do appreciate the ones who wear the hat on the head.
Sure.
Or they have the pay.
I mean, the ones who wear the hats, you can normally, like the ones who wear the kippas, those you can normally, you don't need the hat to tell. But there's some, you're right though. I only just learned that Frank Gehry was Jewish. I had no idea. Frank Gehry, like one of the best architects of all time. He just died on the weekend. He's originally from Canada, but he's like one of the greatest architects the world has ever seen. But he was originally named Frank Goldberg. I had no idea.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I haven't seen any of his work, but was it a lot of like brutalist architecture?
No, it's the opposite. He hated brutalist architecture. He's made go look up Frank Gehry. It's like Ghery. He made some of the most amazing structures in the world, like incredible. But it's funny because
he made the Disney Theater in Los Angeles.
There you go. I don't know what that one looks like.
Is
that some pedophile thing?
I'm looking at one.
He made the Louis Vuitton building in France, which is in Paris. The Louis Vuitton Foundation. It looks like a fucking spaceship.
It says he's a deconstructivist. Yeah, this is pretty Jewish work.
It's funny because
he's a Jew.
I had no idea. You look at that and you go, a Jew made that? I had no clue.
Yeah, if you could, yes, it's we're nailing it down, Danny. The whole world is at the point of if you have to ask, the answer is yes.
If you have to ask if Frank Gehry's Jewish, then it's yes.
Well, it's not even just him. It's just any journalist making preposterous claims, anybody with doing behind anything that is, destroying the morality of the West.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
surprised that the Give Send Go owners aren't Jewish. That's where I was like, they must be Jewish. They must be just.
Well,
there must be some Jew just making bank off all this, but they're Christians.
Well, what's funny is the guy who made the Give Send Go for Shiloh, and for the Somali kids, yeah, it's just like all the wars in the world. They fund both sides and come out on top.
How do you see who made the Tom Hennessy? Tom Hennessy doesn't sound like a Jewish name.
No, the guy who made for the Shiloh Hendrix.
Oh, before Crystal, it's a guy named Tom Hennessy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so what is it for the Jew who doesn't wear the yarmulke or have the payos, or it's like they need something like on all of their clothes because they're not, they need some identifying
like a yellow armband.
Yeah, something. Nah, not an armband. That's kind of gay. But no, just something thrown into all of their clothes.
Like a star.
Yeah. And then not like a necklace that they can hide. They need one that's like. I mean, Rich Voss. He has a big one, but he sometimes hides it, which is. I think we need to do like a brand underneath the eye, like on the cheek.
A brand? That's it's pretty excessive.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to sign up for that.
Oh, well, they're just not going to be. They're not going to get to choose. So
who's going to force them?
I mean, why do you think the Inquisition happened?
Yeah, but that was before we controlled every lever of power. Who's going to force them now?
I mean, you guys say that, oh, we're only 2% of the population. I mean, you guys are outnumbered.
I mean, sure. I mean, on absolutely outnumbered. No question about that. But still don't really see it happening. Not at this point.
Yeah, well, this is.
Why do you think all the Jews own all the sports leagues? Is we keep you all docile? Don't you enjoy your fucking Monday Night Football? Look, it's basketball season.
You're the one who was upset about your pack of Dominicans losing a baseball game to a bunch of other.
Hey,
Dominicans.
That was a mostly white team. Okay. There was a few Dominicans. We had how many Dominicans we had? Yeah, we had a couple. All good players, though.
They're all Dominican to me. Even the Japanese are Dominican.
Even the Japanese are Dominican. Good quote. All right, I gotta let you go. Anything else you want to say?
Just why don't you just say it for the fans out there? Come on, just say it.
Maybe on the Patreon.
Say the word.
Maybe on the Patreon. Slav, everybody. All right. Let's take another call here. If you're on the line, stay on the line. I shall get to you. Do not fret. Next call. Who's it going to be? Hello. You're on low value.
What's up, Danny? How you doing?
Good. How are you? Who am I speaking with?
Good, brother. Hey, so I'm from St. Cloud, Minnesota.
Okay. Another Minnesota.
Not sure you know about this, but this is kind of the Somali capital of the world besides Minneapolis.
Yeah. Well, I was looking up. I didn't realize 1% of the Minnesota population, over 1%, is Somali.
I think I saw in St. Cloud alone there's like 4,000 now or something like that.
Yeah. But I don't know what the population of Minnesota is, but because I imagine they're probably in
5 million.
Yeah, and they're probably in 2 cities. So probably in the cities, you're like, it seems like a lot because it's 1% of the entire state.
Well, yeah, I mean, I grew up in northern Minnesota, and there ain't
6 million, close to 6 million, or 270,000, whichever you choose. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, the only thing I want to say is I think culturally, I don't know, like the other, my black people I talk to at business to business stuff, I don't think they call Somalians the N-word. So I think we need to clarify and stop calling Somalians the N-word and
interesting.
Not take that away from the black African Americans.
And is there a reason for that?
For that.
Yeah. Is there? Did they?
Well,
give
I know
an
they just kind of go. They just kind of go Somalians.
They're like that's a. They're like yeah. They're like that's a different thing to them. They go like because I remember I saw some. It was like one of those like Omegle like live streams or whatever. And it was like some Nigerian guy with some like kind of hood like black dude, and he was like calling him the N-word because he's like, yeah, like it's like the Nigerian, the Africans definitely differentiate themselves from American blacks. They're like we're not the same.
Have you ever talked to a Somalian person like in real life?
Yeah. There's some Somali. I know some Somali comics. Actually, I know a few. There was, I knew there was one who opened for me last time I was in Minneapolis. Actually, nice guy.
See, that's a common ground of the diversity that we were taught in school. The diversity that they're forcing, like they're changing street signs in St. Cloud to this language that only they speak.
Yeah, that's crazy because you're like, how do you?
That is crazy.
Well, yeah, you're like if you because
they did that. For it.
They did that in Vancouver with some like native, like indigenous name. They changed some name, but they're like, well, this is they're trying to do the bullshit. Where like, oh, this should have been the name the whole time because this is indigenous lands and you guys are just colonizers, blah blah blah. But like the Somalis have no claim to the land historically. They're definitely just
It's all bullshit, man. I grew up on a reservation, and I'll tell you, I don't look native at all, and there's nothing good up there.
What are American
bad.
reservations like? Are they bad?
Depressing. My grandparents taught up in Red Lake for 40 years. They left after the Jeffrey Weiss shooting, and there's no hope, and it's something where if the kids get out, they always come back, and
so similar to the Canadian.
My dad abandoned his family.
Yeah, similar to the Canadian. The Canadian ones are really bad. They just actually there was a scandal in Canada actually where this Canadian American author, what is his name, Tom something, Canadian author. He basically just I had to read his books when I was in high school, and then he just came out like last week. Thomas King is his name. He was like he's American, but he lives in Canada. And like, I remember I had to do like my whole essay when I was in 12th grade on this book about it. It was all like native stuff. And then he just came out like 2 weeks ago and he's like, yeah, it turns out I'm not native after all. He's like 80. And he was like known as like the preeminent indigenous author in Canada, and then he just came out 2 weeks ago and he goes, yeah, I guess my mom lied to me and I'm like, I don't know, I'm half Japanese or something. It was like a huge scandal.
No, I mean, I think there's a ton of, I think there's a ginger epidemic on reservations because I think a lot of the redheaded women find homes on the reservation with native guys, and then you just got a bunch of weird ginger kids running around.
There's a ginger epidemic?
It's insane, dude.
Really? And what is the explanation for that? It's just that they're kind of outcasts of society.
All these ugly redheaded chicks are getting pregnant by Indians, and then they get money because their kids are native to that reservation. Oh yeah, big time.
Do you guys have tax exempt status? Where you don't have to pay sales tax and stuff like that?
It's Red Lake, dude. It's a sovereign nation.
Oh, Red Lake. Oh, I didn't even know that. Yeah, I don't know how exactly if it's the same as in Canada, where because in Canada, I think if you're 1/8 native and you can prove it, you can you get a card, and then whenever you go buy anything, you don't have to pay sales tax anywhere in Canada.
My family's 1/16 black, so it's. So we're not native, I don't think. But I grew up. My dad got hired by Tim Walz in 1989 in Pine Ridge to coach basketball out there, and
so you lived on a reservation and you weren't even Indian?
No, I lived on two separate ones, two different, the Lakota and the Chippewa tribes, and they were. I wasn't part of either of them. My dad.
Is that a common thing where there's non-natives on reservations?
No. My dad was trying to be Coach Carter for really unathletic inbred native kids.
That sucks. Do you guys at least have one of the nicer places there, or?
No, I went to college and I own I own a business in central Minnesota, and I got a white wife, 5 kids, and life's pretty good.
Nice. You're doing it right. 5 kids. Sweet, man. Well, cool. Thanks for calling.
Well, no, I love you, Danny. Take care, brother.
Appreciate it, man. Interesting. I've always wondered about that. All right, let's go to the Goob. Goob's been making waves on this podcast, by the way. I get a lot of Goob hate mail, and yet I get a lot of Goob.
You're getting hate mail about me, Danny?
I am. I get comments on Spotify. I get comments on YouTube about you. People are saying you need to get outside and just maybe go for a walk.
That's brilliant. I apologize though.
It's fine. It's fine.
Well,
I don't mind.
If John Cullen does end up dead, he's probably right. I am an idiot then.
Yeah.
And the feds do want you talking about furry posts on Reddit.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that is a weird one too, because that'll kind of vindicate. I don't know if Candace Owens talks about this a lot, the John Cullen thing, But you'd think
she talked about the planes, which he talked about.
Yeah, which he was talking. He was the first guy to talk about the spy planes, like by far. He was talking
Right.
about them, like whenever, like the day after, whenever he was talking about Israel, he was talking about the spy planes. But the fact that he's just like would tweet 20 times a day and then he's just gone missing. Now, again, he probably, my guess is, must have been in his late 60s. So, you know, I guess it's possible that he could have just died. He's either dead or incarcerated. Those are the only two options.
If he's dead, he definitely didn't just die.
Yeah, and again, you should, I don't know if we have any sleuths who listen to this show, but like if you could figure out where you could find an obituary, because again, I talked about it, you know, because I know he has family. I remember him mentioning he had kids, I believe. I don't know if it was on the air or off the air, but I know he has kids. But the weird thing is that if you click on his, and I mentioned this last week, if you click on his account on Twitter where it says the location now, it says account based in Hong Kong, but using a VPN.
Yeah,
he,
I saw that.
He definitely did not say he was in Hong Kong. I don't know if I ever asked him where he lived, but I believe he was saying he was in the United States. But I don't know. There's something weird going on there. Like, again, it could just be the explanation
strange.
he had a heart attack and died. But for him to just be tweeting nonstop and then just disappear from Twitter.
From a heart attack gun.
Yeah, or whatever. But you're like, for him to just have just dropped off the face of the earth, like if he did in fact die, there should be a way to find that out. If you know, if he had a funeral, like you imagine he's like, because he told me he used to work for Oracle, like either Oracle or like Adobe, one of those two. And he was like, yeah, I was just like, you know, I was an executive at one of these companies and he's retired and, you know, he has lots of money and this is just what he does with his free time. So assuming that was true and he's just like a normal guy who just does this as a hobbyist, then there should be some record of his funeral or obituary if he were to die. And then if he didn't die, then where is he?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, what's up, Goob?
Yeah, so I know I won't convince you, but the donations to the Cinnabon girl is the way. That is the right thing to do. The only thing is people, again, need to get off the internet and get into the real world and make these sentiments.
Yeah, because, and look, I understand
level.
the sentiment behind it, but I guess, like, what does this actually do in
so
real
that's
world
what
terms?
I've been explaining this whole time, is that, like, it shifts the power dynamics. It shifts the framing of these conversations. Right? Think about, you know, the Italians and the Irish when they came to America, how much hazing they went through. I mean, we put the fucking Asians in camps, you know, and now they're all good Americans. Mm-hmm. But now we have Somalis coming over here, demanding free shit, scamming us and stealing from us. And then they're the ones that are giving us shit. And if we even dare call out their behavior, you know, now we're the demons. So things have gotten so far off track, so separated from reality. I
mean, but I will say in this
instance, like this are how you shift them back.
Like, I don't know the Shiloh Hendricks story, but like in this instance, it does seem like literally the chick was just like, can I get more caramel sauce? And the woman just snapped.
You know, the description from the Somalis, if that is what happened, I want to give her even more money. So yeah, this is a good thing. But it's just a start. Again, it needs to start happening in the real world. You know, these things can change, like the dude getting stabbed and then the guy getting let off because he called him a nigger after getting stabbed. Like that kind of stuff needs to have pushback.
Well, I don't know if I mentioned it,
because if you
I was
protest
just gonna say,
or whatever, Antifa shows up and beats the shit out of you.
Right.
This is what I've been talking about.
Right. And like, I understand the idea of being like anti-cancellation. So you're like, oh, you want to cancel this person? We're going to make them rich. Like, your cancellations don't work. Like, try and cancel this woman. We're going to make her rich. But like the Shiloh Hendricks thing, I guess, was closer to cancellations. Like, she got fired from fucking Cinnabon. And any business that you do this at, like, I don't know where you work or like what you do or whatever, but like anybody who works at a business, you know that if you do this, you're getting fired. Like, they have to fire you in any sort of like normal society.
With the way things are now.
I mean, maybe, yeah,
with
not
more
in
donation.
maybe not in the 50s. Yeah, like maybe not in the 50s. In the 50s, you're like, yeah, this was totally normal, like pre-civil rights movement. But like in the current iteration of how we live, you're like, yeah, if you're working at a Staples,
right, and how we
someone's
live
trying to
is
get some
fucked.
shit printed.
What is normal now is unacceptable, and it needs to be changed. And
you
like,
think it's
again,
you think it's unacceptable that someone should?
We're speaking about general how society is.
Yeah.
Yes, how society is completely unacceptable.
But
the fact that Somalis are coming over here harassing young white women, and they think they're entitled to that, entitled to the free shit, entitled to this country. Yes, that needs to change. They should. The Somalis should be getting harassed. We should be bullying them. They should go through hazing just like any other American that came over here before us.
I do agree
they shouldn't be here at all.
That an element of hazing is good for assimilation. I'm just saying, like, if some business, if I go somewhere and start saying wild shit, you're just like, this is not really a way to run a business.
Right. It's also not a way to run a business to let, retarded third worlders come in and harass your employees and
look,
free shit and all this other stuff.
And the immigration conversation, I think, is a different conversation. Like, let's assume they weren't Somali. Let's assume it was, the great-great-grandson of a sharecropper or something. You go, we still shouldn't be probably doing that in a civil society. Like, let's remove the immigration element. Let's just say it was a black person his family's been here for 200 years. You're like, yeah, she should have been fired. I don't know what to tell you.
You're focusing on, the usage of a word when we have people getting stabbed and then acquittals because of the usage of a word. Like, there are much bigger problems.
I agree with that one. And the fact
to solve those problems, you're going to have to get comfortable with some hurdy words. Like, that's just the reality of it. We need to make bullying great again.
Yeah. Do you feel better that the guy who got stabbed ended up being a felony rape of a child?
No.
Oh, okay. Makes it a little better.
Doesn't really affect the situation.
But yeah, no, I mean, that seems a very Portland centric thing. And the guy was, I think the defense was, because they only proved that he said it after the fact, but I think the guy was like, he said it to me, which essentially the case, which is crazy because these guys only have like public defenders. It's not like they have good lawyers, but essentially the case being made, which is obviously a dangerous precedent, is he said this to me, therefore I was fearing for my life. So that's how they're essentially saying it's like self-defense, which is like, that's crazy because just the precedent and how many other ways that could be applied. And who knows, maybe it gets overturned. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So
I mean, in the Portland
last week I said that, this plan has been, the Jews have been planning this for 100 years. If you want, I can expand on that a bit and also answer your question about politics, because you asked about like, okay, do we vote our way out of this? And no, because
do we N-word our way out of this?
Can exist right now.
Can we N-word our way out of this?
We can.
Okay.
So the Jews were doing the same thing they're doing to all the Western nations now in America now to Germany 100 years ago, and Hitler was not a part. The destruction of the people and the nation, the sexual liberation, the trannies, the immigration, all of the things that are happening, they were trying to create a demoralized slave class that they could rule over, essentially.
Okay. And do you think there would be no transgender people if
the New World Order?
Do you think there would be no transgender people if there were no Jews?
There certainly wouldn't be the same. Like, I mean, you can look at the Weimar Republic, you can look at what's happening here, like the charts of transgenders, fucking hockey stick. Like, it's obviously not organic.
Well, that's in the last 8 years, but yeah.
Right, but this isn't the first time this has happened. Like I said, this has all happened before. The Jews are working off of a playbook. Like, there's a reason why that they want kids stupid and people not to know history.
Yeah.
So Hitler comes in and fucks up their plans. He was not a part of their plan. He stopped them. He was a true leader. He cared about his people, his country, and he was willing to do, necessary things to address the problems to his people and his country. And so when that happened, the Jews pivoted. And when I say the Jews, it's like the same thing as saying there's a black crime problem. It's like, obviously there's other criminals that aren't black, and not every black person is a criminal, but there is a black crime problem in the same way that the Jews are behind this. Like, it's not 100% Jews, and it's not every Jew that's involved in this, but it is a Jewish centralized issue.
Sure.
And so they shifted and they made America, they, go, okay, we'll start over again. We'll try it again. And they made World War II and Hitler and the Nazis a founding story, a core part of what America is. They used it to their advantage after being, foiled by Hitler initially. And they spent the next 100 years making sure that no new Hitler would ever rise to power. It's why they, the No Child Left Behind Act, for example.
I was just going to say, do you think that they were foiled in Europe? Wasn't Hitler and all that stuff that happened, wasn't that more like a speed bump? Because it seems like they've accomplished their mission in Europe. That was more of, they just kind of, it was, it slowed them down.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Right. So but I don't believe that Hitler was a part of their plan. Some people do. I don't believe that was. I believe they wanted to forge ahead with what they were doing, and he got in their way. And so then, like I said, they pivoted, right? And they made, So, but what I was saying about like the No Child Left Behind Act, right? That absolutely devastated education. Now we have all these kids graduating high school totally unable to read. And
what is exactly that? It's just you can't fail kids. They don't have a Canadian. No,
it effectively, in a nutshell, it made it so that no kid could go any further than the lowest kid. So the most retarded kid in the class, they would tailor education to that kid, and that's the education all the kids got across the board. That's effectively what No Child Left Behind is.
Dumbing everything down.
Massively dumbing everyone down. And, it was done through empathy and sympathy and appeals to women. They go, oh, we have to care about the children. And that's how these things were passed through. In the same way that, the destruction of traditional architecture, they go, it's all for safety. We need concrete with rebar for safety reasons, even though, the longest standing buildings are these magnificent castles. So all of these things, everything, if you understood, like look at the world through that lens of that, the last 100 years all the actions have been trying to move in a direction towards demoralizing the people, weakening the people, making them more reliant upon governments and corporations, and making sure that no true leader could ever rise up again. And with Donald Trump was not a part of their plan either. It's why they freaked the fuck out so goddamn hard with the insane campaigns in the media. Well, all of the globalists, all of the New World Order people, which again is a Jewish centralized problem, but yes, it does involve quite a bit of people. So they attacked him in the media. They launched BLM and COVID. They stole the 2020 election. And then there's a reason also why I didn't vote for him the third time is because like they had already, instilled enough judges and enough roadblocks to make him effectively ineffective, no longer able to be a true leader.
I would debate that. He seems like he's been pretty effective, especially compared to Biden. Biden seemed to have done nothing in 4 years.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's doing nothing, but he's not doing what needs to be done in order to actually correct the course of this country. And he's not able to do it. It's not even a like me criticizing Trump going, oh, he's not doing enough. Like he can't. They tried to kill him, on stage. They came real fucking close.
Really close.
Right. So that's the last 100 years, right? Every single action, all these regulations, everything that's been done has been done to demoralize and make sure that no true leader can ever exist again. It's why Charlie Kirk was killed, because he had the potential to be a true great American leader. And he was on his way to becoming that. And so I also want to talk about that retarded Somali a little bit as well, the one who called in.
Abdul last week.
Because, there's a reason. Right. So I've obviously shit-talked a lot of groups of people. I've, talked very harshly on many groups in these calls. And yet there's a reason why he specifically had an issue with me talking about the trannies. And he decided to solely focus on me talking about the trannies. It's because these people, as retarded as they are, they understand who is there to defend them, who is going to fight on their behalf. And it is the trannies. Like if you listen to the Muslim imams, they will tell you, well, not you necessarily, but they will tell their followers that they need to vote left. Why? Because the left will protect them. They will send literal warriors out, Antifa, right, to defend them.
And give them free shit.
They can,
also you get
exactly,
the most free shit's coming from the left.
100%. But again, this idea that the tranny is the human embodiment of the left, they are the forefront of all of this. They are the linchpin. There's a reason why he defended them amongst all of the groups that I've criticized, including Somalis.
That was your main group you were criticizing for like 3 straight weeks.
Yes, it was. But it's not because they're the worst or like the most powerful, but they are what needs to fall first. We were talking about how the guy got stabbed, right? If people wanted to protest that, right, go out into the street and protest that, who shows up? Who tries to punch them in the face? Antifa. It's always Antifa. They are the warriors of the left. The left supports their warriors. This isn't a new thing either, by the way. Obama had literal terrorists in his cabinet as head advisors. And I think Hillary Clinton did too, not in her cabinet, but as advisors. They support their warriors, right? Because they understand that this is a war. It's a zero-sum game and they are out to win it. And the right has been, trying to have conversations with these people and be reasonable and rational and all of this kind of bullshit. And it doesn't work. What does work is donating to the Cinnabon girl. It's spreading that sentiment in the real world. It is making bullying great again. It is harassing Somalis for being piece of shit Somalis that shouldn't be in this country, and all of the other groups as well. Like, these things sound uncomfortable, and they are, but they're a hell of a lot less uncomfortable than getting stabbed and then the guy getting let off free because you said, "What the fuck, you crazy nigger," after getting stabbed, right? So people need to understand that this truly is a war, whether you decide to fight it or not. There is no keeping your head down. Like, what happens when you get stabbed and then your stabber gets released, right? Like, this shit will just get worse. As I have, said, the longer the right remains cowardly, the worse this gets, the more it progresses. There's no, people are still asking the left to police themselves. They're like, the left needs to have a conversation with itself. And it's like, you're fucking retarded. That's not, you need to get in the streets and start confronting these people. That's what actually needs to happen in order for anything to change. And if you ever want a politician to arise that can actually be a true leader, like Charlie Kirk was going to be, again, this sentiment in the real world has to change, not just on the internet, but also in the streets.
And now, back to the Cinnabon lady. So, because again, I'm still unclear about this. Say she gets $200,000, and I guess the point is that people on the left see that she's getting this money. What exactly? And the right. What exactly tangibly does that change? I guess I understand the thing where we're like, we are like, to hell with your cancel culture. If you try and cancel someone, we're going to make them rich. I get that. But, they did the same thing with Carmelo Anthony, even though it wasn't really cancel culture. He murdered a kid, but.
Ask these same questions, go back in time 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and ask these same questions about the left and all of the insanity that went around trans people in the LGBTQ movement and all of these things. Before those happened and you saw the results of them, ask, oh, is this really going to be effective? Everyone was going, oh, these people are insane. No one's going to take this seriously, all this kind of shit. And then look at how effective it is. There's a huge separation that people, a cognitive dissonance that people experience. People don't understand group psychology well. Like, very few people understand group psychology well, and they try and apply individual psychology to the entire country, and it doesn't work. And so, yes, you see these things and you go, oh, that's ridiculous, that's crazy. But like, even listen to, you know, the conversations you have with me. It's like, you're seemingly more focused on like, but isn't saying nigger at work just unacceptable, rather than like the much bigger issues that are taking place in our country, right? So I kind of lost my train of thought there, honestly, but I think you got my point, hopefully.
I'm very much of like a civil society is a better society, in my opinion. And also, I think of it from some standpoint of like winning elections and, you know, people on the right, like the country does skew to the left, regardless of what you think. Like, it probably is like 55, 45, 60, 40, where you know, there's a chunk in the middle.
There's a uniparty right now. Elections don't really matter much.
I mean, that's
and
not
I get
true.
You can make
like,
the argument Trump is an outsider. Trump is an outsider, so he's a bit of an exception, right? But generally speaking, yes, like there is a uniparty. There's a few legitimate politicians in politics, a literal few. You know, pretty much everyone is captured by this, even if they're not, you know, blackmailed themselves for fucking children. It's like they see what's going on around them. You really think?
So do you think when
most
Trump
people want to try and fight against that system?
But like, so do you think when Trump wraps up his term this time around, it's just back to business as usual, like it was previously, where you're just like, you're getting, regardless of what side, it's just you're getting kind of the same deal? This is like this kind of
we're
aberration.
Still largely getting that under Trump, even.
Yeah, but he's doing,
with some exceptions here and there. Yes, he's doing things. Yes.
He is doing,
but largely it is still the same.
But again, a lot of the stuff he's doing is just cleaning up the mess of the previous administration, where, in terms of like almost a zero sum, where you go, we're just
and
back
it'll
to,
take them 5 minutes.
But
to
it's like
undo
all,
that.
yeah,
you know,
it's like all you got us was back to normal.
How many years of Trump's presidency would it take to undo all the immigrants at the rate we're going that Biden let in his, you know, term?
100.
Right. It's like, it's right. Something ridiculous like that. So, and you know, when next election comes and the uniparty wins again, it's like, how long will it take to undo what Trump has done? 5 fucking minutes?
Yeah, that's generally, they just undo all the executive orders and they go, we're not doing
and
any
it's
of that stuff.
because no one in politics can even propose real solutions right now, because the Overton window has shifted so radically far to the left that you can get away with stabbing someone if they called you the N-word after stabbing you.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the thing is, getting
the fuck back to the right.
Well, the thing is, getting stabbed for calling someone the N-word is not new. That borderline is expected. It's the getting acquitted for that.
Right, and that's insane on its own.
Not really.
I mean, the writing's been on the wall. It absolutely is insane. And you're like the dog in hell drinking coffee, Danny.
Well, so I think of it from a standpoint of
yeah, the headphone dodgers will stab you, but it's totally fine.
I don't say it's fine. It's and maybe I'm, you know, like I'm not about to be like some vigilante, but I do treat like a lot of this racism stuff in the same realm. And I've said this before, as like just general disrespect. And if I went to, you know, some honky tonk bar or some shit where it was all white guys and I started calling everybody a bitch, like I'm probably getting my ass kicked. And I'm not going to be surprised that I get my ass kicked, but I probably will get my ass kicked. Like, I'm sure if I go into like some bar in small town Ontario or all over the United States where it's just a bunch of white dudes and I start calling them all bitches and, you know, like I'm probably getting my ass kicked. Like I'm not going to be like, oh, I can't believe you guys kicked my ass. They're just words. Like, I'm going to get my ass kicked. And the people will be like, yeah, that's what happened.
Sure. But that's not really representative of what the state of our society and what's happening right now. Right now, you know, blacks and browns feel extremely entitled. They can walk around and they can be pieces of shit to white people freely. And God forbid, you know, a white person even tries to stand up for themselves and defend themselves, much less, you know, return the heat. Yeah. Now you have lawfare getting involved. The blacks and browns are getting acquitted. You are getting charged. You know, like look at what's happening in the UK. That there's literally
the UK's batshit
teenage
crazy.
Girls who are getting raped The rapists are protected by the police, not charged, and the girls are thrown in prison for saying the Muslims raped them or saying, any mean, hurty words about their rapists.
Yeah.
We are not far from that. We're really fucking close to that. There's plenty of people in the UK who are still saying there's nothing wrong over there, that they should be letting more third worlders in and all of this kind of insanity, right? Like, you can keep lying to yourself and saying things are fine and what's normal is okay. It's not. And to fix it, you're going to have to be a little bit uncomfortable. And again, I know I'm not going to convince you, Danny, but I'm speaking to those who will listen.
Yeah. There is an element too when you talk about, I was just going to say where I'm like, I do feel like I just live in, a very, like New York City is just very unrepresentative of the general United States as well. Cause I'm like, a lot of the stuff you talk about, I go like, I don't see, I mean, even they just announced in New York City, everybody's like, oh, New York City must be fucking so dangerous. They just tied a record in New York City, most days without a homicide, 12 days without a homicide, which probably a lot of places you go, that's not great.
I mean, that's actually
City,
sounds pretty good for New York. Yeah.
Yeah. You go, they actually someone just broke there was a murder on Sunday, and that those numbers aren't fudged. There's no fudging that number. Like homicides are all reported. So like they actually,
at least not much. Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, so they got 12 days without a homicide. I mean, I guess if they don't find the body, they wouldn't be reported, but 12 days, right. Pretty good. All right, Goob, I got to let you go. Good talking to you, man. Goob, everybody. All right. Let's take some more calls here. Like the stream, everybody. Like the stream. Like it up. Look it up. Schneidtime says, you'll see Fuentes on Piers Morgan today. I saw half of it. I'm going to watch the rest later. Hello. You're on Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
This is Caleb. First-time caller.
Lovely. I love the first-time callers. How's it going, Caleb?
Good. Can't stay on too long. Got to get back into work.
That's fine.
I kind of disagree with that last caller a little bit on the self-policing.
Yeah.
Because we got to bring back shame within one's group. Because if you're outside of a group, the only way to get another group to do something is by force. If I tell you something, I'm not part of that group, you're going to say, yeah, you're not part of us. I don't give a crap what you're saying.
Yeah.
So the only way it works is this.
And that's fair, but the problem is not all groups are monolithic. So it's hard to tell, like, some black guy in the Bronx or Harlem, you go, yo, you need to police these black dudes from Somalia and Minnesota. And they're like, we're not the same.
Right. But if you're Somalian, if you're Ilhan Omar, and you can't even call out billion-dollar fraud.
Yeah,
then you're like,
definitely.
Okay, well,
but I mean,
if you can't even say that within the group, then the group itself needs to be able to shame itself.
Yeah, that definitely some level of self-policing does help. But I guess the question is, if groups are not willing, people say the same thing about Jews. Say the same thing about every group, essentially, where you're like, why aren't you guys? And you're like, I don't know these people. Like, there's nothing.
Right.
I could be like, yeah, Jeffrey Epstein, bad guy. I don't know. There's a lot of Jews who are defending Jeffrey Epstein. You're like, I don't know. Was that enough?
Right. I gotcha. I mean, it's like the headphone dodgers. You can't say anything. Someone else of the same group can.
There actually was, I think there was a video. Oh, no. There was a video of the New York subway of this black guy kind of like talking shit to some random white guy on the subway. And then these two other black guys just like got in his face. Like there's some element where like even like the kind of hood black dudes from New York are like, you're making us look bad. There was another video
like,
of
we're done with this.
Yeah, and
we don't want to live like this.
And they kicked there was a different video where this guy was like spitting on women, and then he like got arrested, and then he got out, and then these two black dudes just like kicked the shit out of him, and they filmed it, and they were very much like, they literally were like, you're making us look bad. Which that vigilante justice is probably the most effective thing for that to get disseminated, and then.
Yeah, it just can't come from another group. If I'm a white guy and does that, then
you're going
that
to
doesn't look very
good.
No,
you're going to jail 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess Goob would be like, why doesn't that look good? That should look fine. Who cares who polices who? I should be able to, what does it matter? Wouldn't that be true color blindness? would be, yeah, I don't like, I'm just beating the shit out of some guy who spits on women. I don't, why does it matter what race he is? But I obviously know that that's not how it works, but.
No, not in a practical society. I mean, people say, well, black people did so much better under Jim Crow. And you're like, yes, because of the shame and the image that they wanted to present. Because within the community, the other black people were like, yeah, we're not going along with your crap. This is how we want our society to exist.
Yeah.
It
and
wasn't
probably
like by
hurting us
happenstance.
as a whole. It's probably hurting us as a whole. And then they
Right.
kind of just, now they stop doing that. And that's where it kind of gets off the rails, I suppose.
Well, not even stopped it. Just people stopped listening. I mean, look at BLM riots and George Floyd, and people in the community are like, no, we want police here because our kids are getting shot.
Yeah.
And you don't see that on the mainstream media. You know, I listen to countless of community activists from that community saying, our businesses are going under because we can't go into they have the whole area blocked off for the stupid George Floyd stuff.
Yeah,
and our businesses are going under because of this.
Do you live in Minnesota?
No, I'm from Missouri, but
yeah, I mean that is a like
listening
even in,
to locals.
Yeah, even like here in the West Village, there's all these businesses are shutting down because like right where the Comedy Cellar is, and there's all these like the McDonald's closed. There's all these restaurants basically that are closing because there's so many just crazies in the area, and they terrorize these places. They like steal. They're just like do tons of damage, and these places have just like kind of given up, and they're like, yeah, we just have like the 7-Eleven just closed. There was another place just closed. They're just like, yeah, they're like the police aren't going to do anything, and I guess we're going to close.
Yeah, and you have somebody halfway across the country, some white Karen going, yeah, but you can, don't say anything because they're a different group. Don't say anything.
Right.
You're like,
the funny thing is the 7-Eleven.
Why the people in there have to do it.
Yeah, but the funny thing is like that 7-Eleven, which is I think it either closed or it's closing, is all run by Indians. So it's like it's Indians basically getting terrorized mostly by like, the people who are causing most of the ruckus there are black people, most of them mentally ill, but it's none of them are white. It's like, and then you probably have some white person being like, yeah, you should let them do that. And you're like, but the victims of this are not white. They're also not white. So it's just now you're like choosing who you rank in terms of victimhood between like,
the victim hierarchy. Yeah, I mean, the like black people are higher and the trans people are higher than that.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, exactly. And you're like, Indians are lower, so just take it. All right, Caleb.
Right. I mean,
anything else you want to say?
Just one more thing I got to bring up to you real quick.
Yes.
Since I'm in Missouri, racist law that went into place, you have to use a government-issued ID to access porn sites.
Interesting. And what, you just like scan your ID?
Yeah, on some random porn site that has no security. Pornhub, they're just right? Like, we're not operating in Missouri now.
Yeah, there's a bunch of states that are doing that right now. Missouri's a red state, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's mostly red states.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
There's a bunch of them that are doing it. I know in 2 days from now, in Australia, they have a social media ban going into effect. If you're under 16, I believe, literally, you just like, if you're 16, you have social media, just like everybody under 16 is just getting kicked off of social media. And I'm sure, like, kids are fairly industrious. I'm sure there will be some sort of workaround. Like, I was buying booze when I was 16, so I'm sure there's maybe a way around
right.
it.
I'm like, if kids want to get this, they know more than me about how to get it.
Yeah, but there wasn't like the technological constraints back then. You just, had to get some shitty person's ID that you like kind of looked like and needed a guy who just didn't care. But now you're like up against these algorithms. So maybe it is harder now. I don't know. But interesting. Yeah. So what you're saying is blacks can't watch porn in Missouri now. Not great.
Well, I mean, that's what we've been told
That's what we've been told.
Yeah, they can't get IDs.
Told. I know. They don't know where to get ID.
Yeah. Clearly racist, and you have to pay the government to watch porn.
Insane. All right, Caleb. Thanks for calling in.
All right.
Caleb, everybody. All right, let's go to, I think we got Dylan here. Thank you for joining me tonight, everybody. Hello.
Hey there.
Hello.
You put baby in the corner there for a while, huh?
I don't know.
Is that because I was
No.
going after you in my little drunken tirade?
I didn't see your drunken tirade. No. I'll give you the actual explanation. So I don't want you and Slav and Goob all back to back. I think it's a lot.
No, I got you, dude.
So I kind of was balancing it out. And I did the three of you in the order that you called, but just with people in between.
No, I don't care, man. It's fine. I'm just giving you a hard time.
A little buffer.
Fucking Jew.
If you guys just want to know how the sausage is made. That's how it's made.
I guess while we're bringing up these great additions to our country with these Somalis.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, I've brought up my little theory about the Alien series and Prometheus. You know those movies?
I know the movies, yeah. I don't think... What was the first... Oh, the Alien. Yeah, I've seen the Alien. I don't think I've ever seen Prometheus. I've seen maybe Alien 1 and 2.
So replace the Xenomorphs with black people and replace the soulless satanic androids with
Jews.
Well, your people.
Yeah.
And it seems like people will go to extreme lengths to get away from, well, both of you. And they managed to just sneak aboard being brought over, well, by somebody that's guised as one of us, but secretly has no soul. And I think it's kind of funny that, these monsters are called xenomorphs, very close to xenophobic.
Sure.
But
you're cooking.
My
right
wife
now.
wanted to know. Yeah, my wife wanted to know, where are the men that are saying the N-word, and she brought up a good point. Because
they're on this
really
podcast. What do you mean?
They're
all listening right now.
Well, call the fuck in, you dumb lazy bitch.
But you're saying, where are the videos of the men? Well, the thing is a man like, yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. There must be a guy, because obviously, here's the thing, and Jordan Peterson said this essentially, but like a guy saying it to another guy, those are fighting words, right? Like probably, those are fighting words. Whereas a woman saying it to a woman saying it is not going to get her ass kicked, right? Like that's not going to basically result in a physical confrontation. A guy saying it to another guy, that's a physical confrontation, where that's a different thing. That probably is somewhat the explanation why at least you don't see a guy saying it to another guy. And if you say it to a woman and she has a guy, you're also getting your ass kicked. So that would be my best guess on that.
Okay, so I think it's feminine behavior to get in a fight over words.
I agree.
I think that's just fucking pussy behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of touches back onto something my wife is also, we talk about, is women don't really have a lot of accountability. Like, we've noticed,
allergic.
She's noticed.
They are allergic to accountability.
Like, women have started driving big pickup trucks, and they seem to have like these invisible balls while driving. They seem to really have like some super cojones when it comes to not realizing that, like, when you're not in this 4,000, 6,000 pound steel vehicle, someone will fucking kill you. And I noticed that, like, when I was a bouncer, it was always people that were either women or single mom raised ethnicities that get a little bit more offended by words. It's just something I'm kind of going on to saying that that guy last week was complaining about that it's not the Jews, it's women.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that guy?
That was the final caller of last episode. Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of society is Jewish society? It's matriarchal.
Mm-hmm.
They're purposely feminizing everything into acting like that, and then I guess probably you guys aren't going to be familiar with Kali, but this this horrible, monstrous divine energy of the female. What is it? I guess maybe Lilith in
the Bible.
White culture. Yeah, but it's one and the same, buddy.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
Yeah, but I mean, again,
Also,
back to my prior point. I'm like, if you worked in a bar, if you walked into a bar full of white guys and started calling them a bitch, one of them is going to kick your ass. Like that, those are fighting
they're
words.
raised by a single mom.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true.
Like,
I don't know. I know like a lot of dudes who are like
come in there.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of like all the guys who I knew who like played hockey and stuff back in Canada, and you're like, if you just like walked into a bar and I'm sure a lot of them were not raised by a single mom, and if you just started calling them a bitch and running your mouth, like you're getting your.
Well, if your dad's a pussy, I consider you raised by a single mother.
That's fair.
So
that's a fair distinction.
But the other thing is he didn't bring it up, but they found the autistic pipe bomber.
I saw that. Yeah, you know what? That should have been on my docket actually tonight. I missed that. I don't know how I missed that. But yeah, they found the autistic. What is the current? Because originally I saw the left-wing news is all like, yeah, he's was saying that the election was stolen and they're trying to paint him to be this MAGA guy, even though he's like this autistic, nerdy black dude, which doesn't seem to check out just based on appearances, at least. Have they released any more information on him?
Oh, I don't give a fuck anymore because we already knew from the very beginning that this was they had pictures of the person with the pipe bomb.
Yeah,
talking to people like years ago, talking to those Capitol Police there. They already knew it was one of the fucking people that was like the Blaze is saying it was one of the woman that is now working for the CIA, and it's like, buddy, would you just fucking go on to 4chan archives and figure things out? Like, this is fucking ridiculous, and it's just such a coincidence, that this guy's autistic, the guy that shot at Trump, he's autistic, the one that shot Tyler, Kirk.
Charlie Kirk, yeah.
He was autistic. It's weird that we just keep having all these fucking autistic white kids that
this one's black,
love
though.
Trump or MAGA or whatever,
Well, but Tyler Robinson,
they can never make a decision.
I thought Tyler Robinson hated Trump.
No, he was. Did you see any of his old comments, the archives of the comments they used to make? Like, it's all Fed plants, dude. That's why I'm saying it's a bullshit. And John Cullen,
yeah,
the guy that was saying it was like people that they get a dead body and then they plant that there.
Yeah,
that was probably the only brilliant thing that guy said.
And now he's dead.
Because I wouldn't doubt. I know now he's going to be at the site of a shooting now.
Yeah,
probably.
Wouldn't that be something if he's just like the next big thing and they go, we found this John Cullen guy. Goes and shoots up Vegas or something again. Yeah, I don't know what to make of all this stuff.
I don't trust this shit.
Yeah. And again, I mean, it's definitely, you don't have a good reason to trust it at this point in the game. Like, the government has definitely made the environment for people to be very distrusting of them. The question is do they just do like, yeah, we're just doing this anyways though, so like you can gripe about it all you want.
Very fortunate timing.
Yeah.
It's always very fortunate timing that it comes out, that it helps cover something or answer some questions. Like,
well, it doesn't seem like the pipe bombing one.
Their theories.
Yeah, the pipe bombing one doesn't seem to have answered any questions, except for that the previous administration purposely chose not to find this guy, because the current administration, it took them fucking 6 months, if that, to just reopen this case and find him.
Now you have a person to blame.
Yeah.
Just like this is all the other stuff. But also, I guess Goob's already called in, but I don't see where people are actually refuting anything that he says. It's just a bunch of fucking bitchy ass cowards that will type little comments out and they don't actually have any like argument against what he's saying. He's spot on. I don't understand how you could even refute what he's saying.
Yeah. I mean, I am, my brain, I guess I more like think to the practical side where I'm always just like, well, how does this, actually work in practice? Like, I know the rejecting of this, a lot of these cultural things. I understand that, what he's saying there. The bullying, the transgender stuff, I don't necessarily get as much.
But like all of it is like, oh, he's just got a hard on a closet case for troons. It's like,
yeah, that's
your porn brain is just projecting, bro.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Yeah, that's an easy way to dismiss him. I agree with that. Yeah, it's but yeah, I'm more the practical application is what I'm more curious about. All right, Dylan, I gotta let you go, man. Anything else you want to say?
I just want to say
yes. Go ahead.
Okay. If Mark is still listening, or you want to book him or book her, I've recommended Dr. Catherine Horton, who is married to an NSA whistleblower and claims that she's being harassed by energy weapons. So
that sounds good. What's an SA whistleblower?
Yeah, I'll post her in the. And I don't remember. It's been a while. I fucking follow all sorts of weird ass people.
But what's SA?
So I'll let you get back to
sexual assault.
NSA.
Oh, NSA. Oh, I heard just SA. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll check her out. Thanks, buddy.
All right. Fuck niggers.
Just had to do that, huh? Can't believe YouTube allows me to get away with this shit. What a different world we're living in, huh? This was literally 2 years ago. The idea that I could do this show on YouTube, unheard of. Shout out to Matt Newey, who says, what is going on with this modern low class of immigrant? It never used to be this bad. I wonder if that's true. You know what? With this whole immigration debate, and shout out to Matt Newey. He's been a member of the channel for 22 months. That must be close to some kind of record. You can join the channel if you want. But I do wonder if this was the exact debate that was being had with like Italians and the Irish 80 years ago, 100 years ago. If this was exactly what they were saying the exact same shit. They're not assimilating. They're narcissists, all that stuff. And I'm not saying that is the case. I just sometimes have that curiosity of, was that the case? All right, let's take another call here. Phone lines are open, 1-888-949-2969. Probably have room for one or two more callers. Hello. You're on Low Value Mail.
Hey, Danny. This is Cole from Peoria.
Cole from Peoria. How's it going?
I think I know why Slav is so thinks he's so funny. But
why?
Because most of Africa's wealth is based in Nigeria and Niger, which is in the Gulf of Guinea, which is the interior armpit of Africa. Most of the I think maybe 12 to 13% of illegal mining and human trafficking occurs in this part of the world.
Interesting. And that's why Slav is so fun?
When somebody says the name Slav means slave.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So somebody who's from, Eastern Europe, where people are traded largely on the Ukrainian or Romanian principles, or in Turkey, anywhere adjacent to the Black Sea, it's the idea that somebody would call you Slavic means that they only understood you were a slave from the Baltic, meaning if somebody called you the N-word, they were referring to the fact you were from the armpit of Africa.
Right.
That's that's an Eastern European thing. It's not if people want to say it's a white thing.
But it's more of an Eastern European.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm Slavic.
It's not an English thing. It's not an English thing.
Yeah, it's not an English thing. I mean, I think I'm technically, I know my family's Slavic, I guess. I mean, my dad has the word Slav in his first name. Funny enough.
Yeah. There were a lot of, Slav is a weird last name because There are an abundance of different slave traders throughout the.
I wonder if my
European
family's
countries.
slave trader family. Maybe they own the boats.
They might. I mean, there were tons of both Jews, Christians, and like Muslims that engaged in the slave trade throughout the Baltic.
Oh, that'd be great if you ever see that that show on PBS where the guy does like he does the genealogy show and he had like Larry David on and he's like your great something or other was like a slave trader. Good episode.
Oh, that would. I mean, yeah. I actually had a problem where my mom found out we were related to John Brown.
Who's that?
He's an American psychopath who was raised like somewhere.
Okay.
He basically like crawled out of a hole
the abolitionist.
Yeah, he had like 17 kids and then raided a federal armory and then tried to load it up with weapons in concert with like Frederick Douglass to go and ship an entire armory's worth of guns down into the South and just like start a slave uprising and get everybody to kill just everyone.
Yeah. I remember.
That started like the Civil War. And you're just like.
Yeah.
Stupid.
I was, I think I saw something about him when I was in Harper's Ferry.
I've never been there. Is it cool?
It's pretty cool. It's Harper's Ferry, actually. I don't think this matters, but when you go do Tim Pool's show, he's near Harper's Ferry. I know he posts about stuff local, so I'm not giving anything away. But you go into Harper's Ferry to get, and he lives like an hour from there, so I'm not exactly doxing him, but I
wanted to call in some support to you, by the way.
Thank you. What would you like to support me with?
Ryan shot you down on the Boys Cast with regard to your theory about like land acknowledgements.
Yeah,
I think he's wrong. Like land acknowledgements. I've been listening to Alan Taylor's like American Colonies, and he goes specifically into the French colonies, both the Huron and the Louisiana.
Okay,
and the way the French governed both of those, like they had to deal with Native Americans and actually do acknowledgements. There's proof that the crown paid more than twice the price of like proceeds it received from the beaver trade from these like people. So it's like you get $5 million in commerce from them, and then you'd have to spend $10 million on like gifts that you're giving them.
This is in Canada?
Like, so in both Canada and in Louisiana, anywhere where the French did business.
Gotcha.
They just ended up having to like pay like tons of acknowledgements, like no matter what.
But those are like, that's a different type of land. I'm talking about the land acknowledgements where you go to like a play and they just say,
right. But that's how they still do it though.
Oh,
like
gotcha. You're saying that's like a vestige from that.
I think you're on to something. That's it.
I mean, I'm only doing it from
it's a French thing.
Yeah, it's a French thing. Gotcha. Because I only do it from a purely anecdotal where I just saw it in Canada. I'd never heard of it in America. And when I moved to America, it was even 6 years ago, it was kind of unheard of that people were doing land acknowledgements here. And now it's kind of like in a little more in the zeitgeist. Not that they even do them so much here, but even the fact that they're discussed more here than previous. So anyways.
Anyway.
Yeah, anything else you want to talk about? Or anything else in your mind?
You were saying you were tired of talking about Venezuela.
Yeah. I am. I'm not tired. I'm not tired of talking about Venezuela. I'm more than open to talk about Venezuela. I just didn't have anything to say regarding Venezuela off the top of the show because there's just no new developments, really. I know there's the whole. It's been going back and forth with whether or not these strikes were illegal and with the double tap strike. But I think I talked about that last week. I just don't know if there's anything really of note between last week and this week regarding it. But I could be missing something. Am I missing something? Sounds like I'm missing something.
Oh, I didn't know if you were aware of Train de Aragua.
I know. Well, I've heard of them, certainly. What's
Well,
going
there's
on with
Tren
them?
de Aragua, and then there's Cartel de Soles.
Okay.
But are you aware of Aurora, Colorado?
I am, of course. That's where they were taking over the apartments.
Right. So that was Tren de Aragua.
And
They're based out of Venezuela.
Yeah. What's the other one?
They had taken over 3 different apartment complexes and were trafficking people and drugs.
Okay. And what's the other one doing?
What do you mean?
Well, you said the other group. Sorry, finish your thought.
Cartel de Soles. Cartel de Soles is, if that's what you were asking about.
Yeah.
Cartel de Soles is more dangerous. They are effectively the shadow government of Venezuela.
I've never.
That's why Maduro is the effective, like, from all of the U.S. analysis, Maduro is the only person that could be the head of the Cartel de Soles. And
so is that why because they have a $50 million bounty on Maduro right now that you'd think someone would cash that in if they could.
Yeah. He's effectively the head of the shadow government, but he's also
the head
of government head. So
yeah, interesting. But so back to Aurora. So Tren de Aragua, they were taking over these 3 apartment buildings for drug and human trafficking. What else were they doing?
Gun trafficking.
Oh, okay. But like, was there anything else going on besides
anything to make money?
Yeah. But were they doing anything else in Aurora? Was there anything more to that, or just?
I mean, they held 3 different apartment complexes. The whole contempt was that the owner and the owner of it, who was based out of New York, had purchased the company that was meant to maintain the properties and had owned one of the properties. And so he was in default with the county because he couldn't get into the apartments because the gang members kept threatening his workers. So he was like, no, he couldn't pay anybody to go in there. And then the county just kept fining him.
Huh.
That was the whole contentment. And then the Fed came in twice and did multiple raids. So you're just like, okay, so there was something going on. And then immediately afterwards, the county shut down. If you look into it, the county marked all of the apartments as uninhabitable after that. And then fined the guy $50,000.
Weird. Yeah, I haven't followed up on it since, I guess that was in the summertime. Because I remember there was the J.D. Vance interview where some journalist was like, yeah, they only took over 1 apartment building. And he's like, listen to yourself. He's like, they only took over 1 apartment building? Like, that's acceptable?
I mean, I guess I'm not so much like the United States portion of it is these guys are brutal. Like, they can command nearly maybe 40 people with 1 gang member. That's the amount of terror like a single member of this cartel represents.
Yeah. So you're saying you're like,
they are
just
distributed.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
I was just going to say, so you're essentially saying you're in favor of what's going on with, the U.S. going to war with Venezuela. Is that what I'm reading?
I don't know about that. The problem is that, so there's this entire thing called the Orinoco Basin, which is in central Venezuela. It's this whole thing that's around this main river of the Amazon. It's like a primary ecological reserve. There's all these like native peoples, all this bullshit. So there's this element of Tren de Aragua, which came out of the Venezuelan prison system that uses a prison owned by the government to run their gang out of. And they run a mining complex where they actively go and enslave indigenous peoples and make them mine for gold. And they make them dump arsenic and mercury and all this other stuff to leach the gold and then put it in. And if you look at what they do there in concert with the Colombians and the Brazilians, it constitutes maybe throughout the Amazon basin about 12 to 13% of the global gold reserve annually. And Brazil is the one providing all the false papers, while at the same time, Peru is like guilty of maybe 60 to 70% of all the counterfeiting that occurs in the world.
What counterfeiting? Like just like commercial products?
Of all currencies.
Oh, currencies.
All currencies.
Peru does 60 to 70% of all currency counterfeiting. Seems like currency counterfeiting.
Yes.
Like again, yeah, I don't. Is currency counterfeiting that big of an issue still?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, crypto is live.
Well, yeah, with crypto, but I mean, like in terms of
people throughout the basin use crypto.
Yeah, but they're printing just U.S. paper currency, and it's being distributed.
There are so many different things they do. They will buy money from the Chinese. They will buy Chinese money. These guys are good.
Yeah.
Like they've been doing it for like 50 years.
Crazy. I'm going to look into that after this.
Yeah.
All right, Chase. Good talking to you, man. Or not Chase, Cole. Chase is
all right.
Person. All right. Thanks, buddy. Cole from Peoria. I don't know why I said Chase there. Let's go to, I think it's conspiracy extremists.
Hello.
Yo, what's up?
Danny, how's it going, man?
How you doing, buddy? How's your head?
It's getting better. It's still a little foggy, but I see a neurologist tomorrow. But
okay.
Thanks for asking. Again, I was calling in to say talk to you one thing, and then I hear all these people say stuff. Can I confirm? Is Slav? He's Jewish, right?
You didn't hear that from me. I've heard some rumblings. I've heard some internal rumblings that he may have some. He may not pass the one drop rule. Let's just say that.
Okay, I thought he said he was Jewish before. I just found it.
No, I called him Jewish. No, I called him Jewish on when Dustin Nemos called in. I kept to subvert from him finding out that I was in fact Jewish and that he was on.
Okay, well, you're apparently white according to Dustin Nemos. Congratulations.
Thank you.
But I thought I heard that before. But anyways.
No, I've accused him of that. He would say falsely.
All right. Well, never mind that. I was going to make a funny joke, but never mind. And Goob, if you're still listening, hey, hit me up on Twitter, Conspiracy X. I'd love to have my show. Now, you're talking about the N-word
yes.
and all these white people saying it. I think...
Go ahead.
That... Well, I think the whole thing is that we are reclaiming the word or re-reclaiming the word back to the white people.
Okay.
So, like the whole blacks are like, we're reclaiming the word, making it cool, calling each other the N-word and shit.
Sure.
I think what's happening now is white people are reclaiming it back because we are the ones allegedly who created it. And I think we should be proud of that and making it back our own.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to catch on. I think the problem is there's still...
They already have.
Yeah, well, I know obviously people use it, certainly. White people use it. I think there's still like the social impact for most people. Like, look, if you have a job and you want to just go, drop that word at your place of employment, even if you own a business... and you're like, well, I can't be fired, there's probably going to be some financial repercussions. Like, I don't think everybody, you need a lot of people on board with this all at once to get it back. Because if you're trying to do it slowly, there'll just be a lot of collateral damage, I guess is what I'm saying. And some people might be like, yeah, it's worth it, I suppose. That's fine. That's up to them. Again, this is America.
I understand. Sure, I get your point, and that makes sense.
You have the right to say the word.
However, I do think, I think it's moving in that direction where it's being destigmatized, and I get you said, I don't call anyone directly that, which I have something else to say about that in a sec. But I understand that, but it's definitely being destigmatized as a word that white people are allowed to utter out of their mouths.
Yeah, I mean, it would be good if we could just get back to the 90s, I think. Like, do you remember there was on Saturday Night Live, Will Ferrell...
The 1890s?
No, the 1990s. Will Ferrell on Saturday Night Live did that Robert Goulet sketch where he sang Big Papa. It was like Robert Goulet singing rap songs. I don't know if you guys remember this. I don't know. I'm sure some of you do. It's a really funny sketch. It's Robert Goulet, the singer, crooner guy or whatever, and he was doing like rap songs and he did like Big Papa, and he dropped it with like a hard R, like a really hard R, on Saturday Night Live in probably 1998, I would guess. Not bleep, nothing, and it was fine. It was understood.
Yeah.
That you're like, that's a funny use of it. And you know what? Maybe at the time there were a lot of black people who were like, these fucking white folks. Look, they think this shit's funny. Maybe at the time you didn't even find out that they were mad. I mean, definitely at that time, I don't think I knew. I maybe knew one black person, so I didn't know. Like maybe the tone in the black community was different. But at that time, you're like, yeah, it's just funny. It's like, there's nothing mean about it. It's just a funny use of it.
Yeah. No,
but then when they were like, nobody could say
coming,
it ever under any circumstances, there is no circumstance ever where someone could say it. That's when I think white people are like, well, then I really want to say it now. So it needs to be some sort of, compromise. I think if we could get back to the
release valve, like right.
Yeah, like let's just hear a couple people saying it in a funny way. I mean, even Louis was saying it in 10 years ago. Maybe that would be 15 years ago now. Louis used to drop it all the time. David Cross used to say it. It was a great time.
Danny, speaking of the N-word, what I originally wanted to call in just to mention is you were on Jesse Lee Peterson.
I was, yes. You guys can go check that out.
I think you did a phenomenal job. I've watched several of his interviews when he
put me in the fucking spin cycle, dude. I should have watched an episode.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing: he does that with everyone, but I think you did much better than I've seen other people do. You're like, I don't know what the fuck you're. And I was watching this, and this was even before your subject of this show, and I'm thinking, Danny's just got to be in his head like, what is this dumb nigger talking about? Dude? Are you fucking kidding?
I did not think that. No,
Yes.
See, I like.
Come on. Right,
I like Jesse Lee Peterson. I think he's so funny. I was very much. I don't know the way it is. I was very titillated by him. He's just like he makes me just laugh. Like just everything about him is so funny to me. Like the whole thing. He's like this sweet old black man. But then the shit that comes out of his mouth is very incongruent with what he looks like, I guess.
But you're thinking in your head.
No, I don't think that. I'm sure he would have loved it.
Well,
I'm sure he would have loved if I said that. He would have just been like, clip that. Let's go.
My
his
favorite part is
questions.
when he asked you about the Jews.
Yeah. I don't even remember what I said.
About like, everyone's so anti-Semitic these days. And you're like, what are you talking about, dude? Everything's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It is fine. It is fine.
Yeah,
I mean,
I appreciate that.
Jews are fairly neurotic people. So, there are some who are... I mean, Ari said the same thing. Ari was on Howie Mandel's show, and Howie Mandel was like, yeah, this anti-Semitism is really bad. Ari's like, no, it's not. It's really not. And Howie Mandel's like, what? What do you mean? He's like, it's really not. It's really fine. Like, if you didn't have Twitter...
Well, and I think...
Like, if you literally were like, I'm not on Twitter, you're like, what are you talking about? I mean, sure, there's like, there are some real life, but for the most part.
Didn't you make the point where if people weren't acting so neurotic, it wouldn't be as bad? Like, so I in my opinion, if we had more people like you that talk like you, like Dave Smith, even Ari, which I think he's kind of gross, but at least have that attitude.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you had that attitude, all these Jews have the same attitude where you're like, who cares? It's fine. I get that the people are close, the older people closer to the quote unquote Holocaust.
Yeah. And that is a big element of it. Closer to. Like, because I was actually listening, because I was listening to Nick Fuentes on Piers Morgan. Half of it. Yeah. Piers Morgan. And Piers Morgan was like, how many Jews do you think died? And, he's kind of like, oh, I guess 6 million or whatever. It could be 600 million, which was funny. But there is this element where, like, you remember with like COVID, with COVID, you were like, did you know, you could ask anybody, you go, do you know one person who died from COVID? Every person would be like, no, of course I don't know one person who died from COVID, right? While at the same time, everybody was like, this is so serious. And you go, I don't know one person who died from COVID. I don't know a person. Maybe I know a person who knows a person. And then even in that case, you're like, the person was fucking 85 years old. But you're like, I don't know one person. But you're like, every old person, Jewish old person I know, they're like, yeah, we know a lot of people who died in the Holocaust. Like, to a man, right? To the point where you're just like, this can't, unless they're all lying to me internally. And for what? They're like, they're not, but you're at that point you go, yeah, that's probably the number. They probably ran up the numbers. They probably got up there just based on the fact that, within 1 degree of separation, everybody's like, yeah, I know tons, like, half my mother's family got wiped out or whatever. You're like, just based on that, you go, it's got to be a pretty big number. I'm sure this is not what you want to hear.
It was World War II.
No, I understand that. I understand it was World War.
I agree with you. I don't think the contentious point is that Jews didn't die, right? It's just it's being like hijacked and used as a scapegoat to liability shield. So
I don't like that. Biggest... Yeah, that I don't like. I don't like that they do that, obviously. Which is part of the reason why we've arrived where we have with people like Nick Fuentes. Because, like, again, I've said this since I was 12 years old. Like, literally, I remember having this thought when I was 12 years old, where I'm like, that's so weird that it's illegal places to deny the Holocaust. That was me when I was 12. Like, I was like, why would it be illegal? That's weird. I certainly had that thought when I was a child. So, and look, this is you reap what you sow, I guess.
Right. But it's also been used as like, it's the only, not the only, but it's the biggest thing is that all these poor Jews all died in this one event. And that it kind of like shadows every other tragedy that happened either during that time or any.
Look, I mean, there's a real good explanation for that. And it's that, there's been other Holocausts. Those people are not good at writing stories, right? That's literally all that is we're good at stories and making movies and stuff like that. That's why.
And propaganda.
And, well, you could call it what you want, but like, that's the reason why I used to do a joke about it in my last special. I'm like, when I say the Holocaust and I say the good one, like the one we all care about, like, cause there's been many Holocausts. There's been tons of them, but we don't care about the other ones. And the only real explanation is Jews are just good at storytelling. And they've made this as the Holocaust, even though the Holocaust
for their
is
benefit.
But Holocaust is just a term to describe a thing that happened, not a specific one.
Right.
Like we're like
Kleenex.
People
say the word Holocaust.
Yeah, you don't think of
that's a good one.
Yeah, it's like Kleenex. It's facial tissue, but we're Kleenex.
Right. But the point is that when the people say the word Holocaust, the only thing they think about when it comes to education, culture is Jews dying from mean mustache man, right? Like,
correct. Yeah.
Literally whatever.
Like really, the Holocaust was just a genocide. And then you're like, there's been a ton of genocides. But so for some reason, they've been like demarcated. And now there's the Holocaust. And then everything below that is just, that was a genocide. But it's like a Holocaust is like a more serious genocide. But really, it's the same thing. We're just good at branding.
All right. Well, yes. Yeah. You guys are good marketing. Experts.
That's really what it comes down
to. All right, I'll let you get back to the other callers. Great job on Jesse Lee Peterson. I wanted to let you know that.
Thank you. And you guys can all go check out my episode with Jesse Lee Peterson, The Fallen State. I'm going to close the phone lines. All right, we have 3 more callers. Then we're going to wrap this up. Don't call it anymore. Like the stream. 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 I was going to say that until someone picked up, but I'm not picking up now. That's how she goes. Oh, there we are. Hello, you're on Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with? Hello?
Hello?
Hey, what's up? Who's this?
Oh, hey. This is Bill from Colorado.
Bill from Colorado. What's up, man?
Oh, hey, that previous caller, I just I had to call because I got this friend from Kenya, and he is like the biggest anti-Semite that I know right now, and it's
Really?
the funniest thing. Yeah,
He's originally from
We're,
Kenya.
yeah, and we're both in the military, and I'm white. I'm sure you can tell from the voice.
Congrats.
Yeah, but yeah, we met in basic and hit it off, great friends, and then I find out this dude is like wanting to like order Mein Kampf off of Amazon and get it like shipped to the barracks. It was insane.
He's interested
in basic training.
This is it's the Streisand effect, I guess, is kind of what Nick Fuentes was saying, or no, Coleman Hughes was saying that this is it's you're telling everybody this is the forbidden book, and people are like, oh, I'm interested now. I'm interested.
Yeah, I had no idea.
What else does he say? Is he a big Fuentes fan? Like what's radicalizing him?
Yeah, I never knew who Nick Fuentes was until I started hanging out with this guy.
Yeah,
because
Nick Fuentes says he's like, I got lots of black fans.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot. I had no idea, but like in the military, you meet like a lot of Africans, like Africans, not African Americans. Like,
yeah,
they're pretty big on like making the distinction themselves, and they hate Jews like with a passion. They're like super pro-Arab, pro-Muslim.
Interesting.
Like,
yeah, I don't know the historical context behind that. If there's like if they blame the Jews for colonizing or subjugating them, I don't know. Like, are they like, is this guy like who owned the boats? Is he like one of those guys?
No, he's never like brought that up, but he's always like trying to get me to like look into Nick Fuentes and like read into like Holocaust denial. Like he's very much like the Holocaust is like overblown, if not like not real.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, look, that's you're free to have your own opinion. I mean, I would imagine there's a lot of those guys. I would love the idea that like he like finds some white guy who shares his opinions, and then they like bond over their hatred of Jews. Like basically, it's kind of like a Clayton Bigsby kind of from Chappelle's Show.
Dude, that's exactly what I thought. Like Clayton Bigsby, this guy is.
Yeah, like he's going to be like a full blown like white supremacist soon, even though he's probably like super black African guy.
Yeah, it's funny. He hates African Americans too.
Yeah, well, I know there's that distinction where we're African blacks are like we're not that. Like that is a different thing than us. Like
yeah, they got like special words for them. I forget. Like,
I've heard that special word a few times tonight, but yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it's fascinating stuff. Well, can you get copy? Like, they don't search your mail and stuff when you're on a base?
Well, that was the crazy thing. So when he wanted to order it, we're both in basic training, and they do search your mail. So you have to open your mail in front of the commander. So you have a company commander who's in charge of you, and whenever you get mail, like even a letter or a package, you just open it in front of them. So I was like, "Are you insane? Like you want to order my comp off of Amazon and open it in front of the company commander?" Like,
and so he did.
Military career has no. So I had to convince him not to do it.
And he's probably blames the Jews.
Wreck your career.
He's probably like, it's the fucking Jews' fault that I can't order Mein Kampf to the military base.
Yeah.
So then is he like, is he like, why are we fighting for Israel? Like, is he doing that thing where he's like, what? I didn't realize I was in the Israeli army.
Oh yeah. We're their dogs.
Yeah. Like he's just, but he's fine with it. He's in the U.S. military. In his mind, he's like, I am doing the bidding of my Jewish overlords. And it's fine.
It's weird. Like there's so many Africans that just come over. They join the military to get the citizenship.
Yeah.
And so he's just like here for a good time, and then he's gonna cash out, go back to Kenya, and just fucking live like a king. That's the plan.
Interesting. So I didn't know that. I didn't know there's so many Africans in the U.S. military. That's kind of
it's big. Like it's kind of funny when you hang out. Like I was good at running, so we would run around, and that's like our thing. Like I would run around the base with them, and we would just meet Kenyans, and then you're like, oh my god, like
there's just tons of Kenyans.
U.S. military
and
is
they're
like,
all definitely running around. They're probably smoking
Yeah.
all of you.
Yeah, they are. Honestly, like a lot of them like get promoted ahead of their peers because their PT scores are phenomenal.
Yeah, they're just so good at running.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
kind of like an African, a bit of like an African's. I want to say almost a scam because I mean if their plan is to just come here, make money, and then leave America, so they have no real loyalty to America. They're just treating this as just a fucking pot of gold. They're just going to cash out and just leave.
I would say some of them may like America, but just talking with a lot of them, it seems like the backup plan is like come to the U.S., you get the citizenship through the military, and then once you get like the retirement or whatnot, you just kind of dip, and then you go back and
just live in Africa for the rest of your life.
Yeah, man, like minimum wage in Kenya, I was looking it up one time.
5 cents.
It's something like, yeah, $100 a month. And then like, here's the thing, like you're in your 20s in the Army or the Navy, whatever, Air Force. You can like get mental disability, or you could eat your way out, and you could get like med boarded is what they call it, like medical disability.
Yeah.
And so there's like some of them that are like actively trying to get disability so that they could get like a $3,000 a month payment and then go live in
For the rest of your life?
Togo. Yeah.
So you just go to you're African, you come to America. I imagine you like get a green card or something, join the military.
Diversity
and then
visa. Yeah.
Diversity visa. And then you get so fat that they kick you out and just give you $3,000 for the rest of your life?
So it's insane. You get an honorable discharge if you're fat.
What?
Yeah. So you have to meet like certain height and weight standards in the military. And that means like if you're 5'10", you can't weigh more than 200 pounds. And you get weighed and you get taped every 6 months.
So if you
It's
and
different for, like,
is it
every
hard to get food? Like is food restricted there where you have to like sneak in like snacks and stuff, or is there just unlimited snacks?
No, this is like once you're out of like basic training. This is like when you're at like a normal Army career.
Yeah, like once you're in a normal Army career, you can just go get fat, like a cop or something. So they just go get fat.
And so every 6 months they test you to make sure you're not getting fat.
I mean, 5'10", 205 isn't like that crazy. If you're 5'10", 205, they're like, you get honorable discharge and just $3,000 a month for life.
Sorry, I got a soldier. He's like 5'9". He's 236.
That's a big boy. That's a big boy.
Yeah.
And so they just kick him
And
out
he's
and he just
getting-
gets paid for life.
Yeah, but while he's getting, so it's a process. It's like this whole legal process. And while it's going down, he gets to go to medical appointments, and he gets to claim that he's had like anxiety, or he can go get like some consult for his hips or his knees.
Right.
And all of that gives him a percentage, so that by the time he gets that honorable discharge, he has like 80 to 100% medical disability as well.
Crazy. So they're all just coming here to scam the military. That seems wrong.
Oh, the crazy part is the officers. So like, you can pay, like you come here on like your diversity green card, you join the military, you can't commission as an officer because you're not a non-citizen. You can just be enlisted. But what you can do is you can go back to your buddies and be like, hey, you got that connection with that guy at the University of Ghana, right? And they'll be like, yeah, I do. And so you wire some guy who works at like the University of Nairobi, wherever the fuck, give him $2,000. And then all of a sudden you got like a legitimate degree, which now you're a U.S. citizen, you got a college degree, you can commission.
Which is what? You become an officer?
You become an officer. Yeah.
Yeah. So you just kind of skip the whole stuff
And
with
so-
some fake international degree.
Oh, you skip 4 years of college. Like you look, it's
Dude,
the
they're
worst thing, 'cause I know
scamming.
about this.
There's so many scams in this country. Everybody's just, this is literally, like when people are like, this is the world's piggy bank, it really is. It's just like scam
like-
city.
Like it's hard for me because I'll see like I work at a hospital and there's like some Africans who are nurses, and you got to have a degree, and they're officers, they're like lieutenants and captains. Like, I hope your shit's real.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, and you're probably like, it's similar to the DEI stuff I said earlier, where you're like, yeah, I just don't know. You're like, I'm legitimately concerned about. I'm sorry for questioning you, but there's enough of you scamming this shit. Well, that's crazy. That's a crazy story. Thank you for calling in, though. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Sorry, I just had to share it. Have a nice-
Thank you. Anybody who has good stories like that you want to share them up. And don't call in anymore. The phone lines are closed. I'm supposed to end the show right now, but we're going to take 3 more calls. Even though I got to piss. We'll have to make them quick. I got to pee. Hello.
Hello, Danny.
What's up, Donish?
It's Donish. Initially, I thought I don't have anything interesting to say, so I don't want to call in, but there's the infighting among us. Gross. I might as well get in a bit. First of all, it must be crazy being in New York City full of libs, especially in the comedy scene, and then your call-in shows like hard extreme right-wingers. That's the dichotomy you got going.
Yeah, I mean, I like to talk to everybody.
And that's what we like about you.
Yeah.
And I hate to make you repeat yourself, but in that incident, what happened before the cussing? She had asked for extra syrup. Did she keep asking? I was looking at work in and out, and I couldn't fully listen to
For what? Say that again?
The backstory. For the before the incident of they call it fatigue, whatever, N-word bombing. The first thing, like,
she was asking. She was ordering. This is her side of the story. Is she ordered a caramel pecan cinnamon roll, and then the woman was squeezing the caramel on it, and then she's like, "Can I get a little more because it's not enough?" And then basically the woman, the Cinnabon employee, said, "You could see me squeezing it through that witchcraft bandana you're wearing on the top of your head," referring to her hijab. And then they pulled out their phone and started filming.
Did they just ask once? That's it?
They might have asked many times. Again, this is their side of the story, so they're obviously going to make themselves look as good as possible, right? So, but this is just their side of the story. I'm not saying who's right. I would lean to believe that it's probably, like, maybe she asked it several times. Maybe they were being bitchy. I don't know.
Probably, yeah. It's not, sometimes.
Yeah, it's not so cut and
not
dry.
To say it's good or bad, but
I just don't believe that they just randomly are like, "Hey, can I get a caramel fucking cinnamon pecan bun?" And then just pulls out her phone and it's like, "Yeah, you're so immodest," and starts filming her, and then it just started there. That seems hard to believe.
Yeah, I'm sure, like, probably she's also in miscommunication. She got annoyed because the language, but also they probably maybe were not able to fully 2-3 times asking.
Yeah, maybe they're being annoying. Maybe she just was like, "It's fucking, I'm broke. It's Christmas time. I work at the fucking Cinnabon in the mall. I'm like in my 40s. I hate this job." And people snap at their jobs. I don't know.
So I don't want to say they're both in the wrong. Yeah, maybe she probably escalated a tiny bit, but
I mean, look, she's no doubt.
Her, but yeah.
She won this. The Cinnabon chick. She won this. Yeah. She won this interaction. She's gonna probably get 4 years of her salary in a lump sum. God. I don't even know if GiveSend goes taxable. So she is going to get untaxed. I think it's untaxable. I could be wrong. But regardless, she's gonna get 4 years of salary. Just like for trading away your Cinnabon Mall food court job. Like, anybody would take that.
At work, the Syrian chick in a hijab and the white lib guy were joking about, let's create an incident and then we'll act it out. So,
I bet there's a lot. I bet there's a lot of people having those conversations right now.
Oh yeah, you were saying. I just wanted to clarify something you said. Not that I have any particular opinions, but so you were basically saying that they probably exaggerated numbers, but from your anecdotal, not from anecdotal, but your experience and like what we all have heard, that there's got to be a large number because of so many people having reported. And
yeah, like, again, I don't think
dark.
It's literally 6 million on the dot. Like, probably knowing Jews, they rounded up. I'm sure but it's a lot. Like, it's one of those things where you meet so many like people. Like, when I was a kid, like, all my friends were Jewish, and like, for the most part, every one of their grandparents was like, "Yeah, I know many people who were killed." And At least the ones who were like in Europe, obviously, I had friends who were Jewish who were like 4th generation Canadian, 5th generation where they weren't there. But any ones who were there, they're like, yeah, it was so common where it's hard to discount. There's just too many people, unless of course you think they're just like it's a conspiracy and they all just got their stories together, which I'm sure some people do think that, as I'm saying this now. But anyways, that's all I was saying. It's hard to think it wasn't. But the exact number I.
So like you said, the main critique is like what Norman Finkelstein. I haven't read the book about the Holocaust industry where he's like, oh, you use it for things like you had mentioned.
Oh yeah, they definitely. I mean, look, Israel's whole thing is like we're doing this because we don't want another Holocaust to happen. Like Israel's whole strategy with Palestine and their fucking catchphrase is like, what is it? Never again means now. Like that's a reference to the Holocaust of like, they're like, we're not doing having another Holocaust happen. So they obviously use it to their benefit, as you would, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people
they're smart for in their own interest. It's kind of like, they're smart and they've got through the institutions also because of their intelligence. You know, to Goob, like, you know, obviously you have conviction in your beliefs. I respect that we call into the same show, but the thing that like you're like, all right, let's all get together. You know, we are very polarized, and you're like, oh, we need to polarize more. Kind of like almost reminds me like the final boss of like Lib's nightmares. Like all these people want to attack, but I mean, and something to what you said is like some of the like Trump ran in as an independent, but the liberal elites, or I don't know if it was the liberal elites or the financial elites, maybe both, that said that if it was Bernie or Trump, they'd prefer Trump, you know, from the beginning, I think 2016. You know? So I'm not saying that he was on their side the whole time, but he definitely, like, the rhetoric was great. You know, the Nick Fuentes is interesting, like the whole thing. He had the Trump where he was just, Trump, I don't want to go too much, but Trump was like talking about, oh, you have something to say, and then he's like, no, I don't want to disrespect you. And he's like, oh, go say it. And then Nick Fuentes like, what you said in 2016, like that speech, you should have said this, that. And Trump's like, this guy really took what I said seriously and went with it. And like, obviously, he has a digression. One of the things that he had said is like maybe in metropolitan cities it's different, but the imams do not tell everyone to vote Democrat and get free stuff. Like what I've heard in the 2000s is like, oh yeah, what they said, and I've been to the mosque many times, that like, yeah, with the Bush, like civil liberty wise, Dems are better, traditional value wise, Republicans are better. So it's not like they're just telling everyone to go Dem. Maybe in Chicago or something it's different. So I just
and it's like this is why I like this show, because someone will say something that they've heard, you know, third hand or some shit about. They go, yeah, this is what the imams were doing, and you've actually been to a mosque, so you can be like, no, this is like I've been, and this is actually what happened. And you know, obviously, and a lot of times you're like, people just say shit, and you go, what's that based? And you go, I don't know, I heard it somewhere. So it is good, but yeah, I don't know how it works. Like, I mean, I can tell you with Jews, like Jews still, like with Mamdani, like Jews still vote Democrat. Everybody's like, this guy's like the worst for Jews.
True, yeah.
And they go, we still like him. That's just who we vote for. And Jews traditionally.
True, Danny. Yeah, true.
Yeah, so
that's a very good point about. But I know I want to say, like, not to sound like a lib, but like, there's probably some Somalian or the other race that everyone's hating on right now that has very likely has similar views to the people, except for that view about Somalis or something like that. Especially when, you know, someone else talks about the Jew thing. So you guys can, you know, like, realizing obviously not all of them, but probably some of them are, you know, doing some scams and stuff, and they should be cracked down upon.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it. Look, in this country, based on the last guy who fucking called with the Africans in the military, which is the first time I've ever heard that ever. This country is just like, people see this and they go, I want to one day move to America to scam the shit out of that place. That is just like a third world sentiment. I mean, obviously that's not everybody. Some people want to move here for a better life, but there are some people who are just like, man, it is so easy to run scams in that country. And it is. I mean, obviously you have to be in the military, which is not easy, but I mean, just the idea that you're like, that's your plan, is to join the military to get fat and then just live in Kenya for the rest of your life. And this is not like a one-off thing. I got to let you go, Danish, though. I got to take some more calls.
Oh, appreciate it. Thank you.
Danish, everybody. Oh, we lost Jared. That's too bad. All right, last call of the night. I want to talk to Jared. I'll have to talk to him another time. I know he's at work. He works late now. Sorry, Jared. I was going to run. Hello. last call of the evening. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Danny, it's Spencer from North Carolina again.
Spencer from North Carolina. What's up, pal?
Hey, man, I wanted to call about, there's been a lot of black and Jew complaining. I wanted to talk about Mexicans.
All right. I like the Mexicans. I don't know. Mexicans are...
I genuinely don't really have a problem with them.
Yeah, they seem to commit not a lot of... Yeah, they seem to commit disproportionately low levels of crime. They work hard. They're very I would say like in New York City, like the Mexicans or like general Central Americans, because I can't tell the difference, and Asians, Indians, they very much are very good at just kind of putting their head down. They kind of go unnoticed for the most part, kind of stay in the background. But specifically the Mexicans is, there's tons of them here and you don't really notice them, if that makes sense. Like they're everywhere.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted. That's what I want to talk about. I think it was on the Boys Cast. You were the only I guess I could call you a media personality that brought this up. Like in Charlotte, there was that day when ICE showed up here and 21% of kids didn't show up.
Mm-hmm.
So
Pretty fucking crazy.
I don't live in Charlotte. So I'm in central North Carolina, and I would say your estimate, there are parts of North Carolina that I'm not exaggerating here, and maybe other people from North Carolina can corroborate this. And probably 25 to 30% of the people in certain counties are here illegally.
That's crazy. Crazy.
So for like 20, 30 years, right, there's the major population centers are Wake, Mecklenburg, Durham, and Orange County, right?
Yeah.
These are all very blue, very liberal counties, and they've all had, you hear in the news people complaining about like New York City and Chicago and LA being sanctuary cities and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these North Carolina counties have been sanctuary counties way longer than that. Like these sheriffs have not cooperated with immigration for decades. And North Carolina is a heavy agricultural state.
Right.
So you just have millions and millions and millions of illegals over the last couple of years. Like it's gotten so bad that there's sections of Raleigh where like there's billboards around like entire streets in downtown Raleigh where all the billboards are in Spanish. Or like you go into restaurants.
That's crazy because I would have never thought like in North Carolina that would be the case. You always think about like, California, San Diego, Texas, like border towns. You go, sure. But like North Carolina, like my guess is if that's what it's like in North Carolina, it must be like that everywhere in the United States.
Yeah, no, it's insane. And like I said, generally they're good people. But the thing is it's like, man, are we going to have a country or are we just going to let these other countries come here and set up their own countries? Because it's like you have these basically like they build mini like outcroppings wherever they are in these sanctuary counties or around farms and stuff. And people always talk about going after the business owners, which that employ illegals. But the problem is, and you might be aware of this to a certain degree, is like they can get social security cards and fucking fake IDs and like all this shit. So it's like they get stuff that passes E-Verify.
Yep.
Like, so as far as the employer is concerned, they have no idea.
Or they're maybe playing a little dumb. Like they kind of know, but they go like, that's good enough. Like, I have plausible deniability if, someone starts poking around. But yeah. Like now is there like, I don't know if you know the answer to this, but are there people to replace them? Should they leave to do those jobs? Because I know Trump basically, with his deportations, I think he started hearing from agriculture that they're like, if you deport all these people, like there's nobody to do these jobs. And it'll actually...
So for tobacco farming, hell no. So I've lived here my whole life and I have never seen like a white or black person picking tobacco in grow season. Like it's always been... Like these buses will pull up and a bunch of, I'm speaking generally, a bunch of Hispanics get out and they pick the tobacco all day and then they go home.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I know that there's agriculture visas. I don't know if that's originally what that was like meant to be, and they maybe overstayed or whatever. But I know there are like agriculture visas where people live in Mexico and they'll come for, like, they have them in Canada too, where you can come for 4 months or whatever, work, but then you have to go back. But I don't know like how it breaks down.
Yeah, no, that might be part of it, but like I can just tell you guys, like, living here, just the sheer number of like Hispanics, like when I just like go somewhere, like it's noticeably just more, right?
Yeah, I mean, I
Like,
said
like-
on a few weeks ago, I'm like, I think it might be 100 million in this country.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a ridiculous number, but I don't think you might be that far off. Like
Yeah.
just based on my day-to-day like interactions, and I go all up and down the state. I don't really go out west that much to the mountains, but at least central, eastern North Carolina, yeah, they're just everywhere.
Crazy. Yeah, I don't know.
But,
I don't even know what you can do about them at this. Like, do it about it at this point. Like, it's physically impossible to deport them all. Like, even if you get the most aggressive deportation strategy, which I don't know how you can get much more aggressive than it currently is, but you're like, how?
No, and I can say, like, when they were here, like when they made that big hubbub about ICE showing up, like the roads were like noticeably clear.
I saw
like,
that.
DHS
Yeah, I saw people
okay,
would
you saw
post
that
like,
graph?
like Charlotte, and it was like the all around Charlotte was all green on like Google Maps. Like there was just no traffic.
Dude, so I have to drive 45 minutes to an hour to work every day. That week, my commute was 15 minutes shorter. Like there was just less people. Like it was ridiculous. Like
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably back to 45 minutes now, I imagine.
Yeah, no, they all, once ICE left, it was like, oh, there they are.
Yeah, and I mean that's like if you put yourself in their shoes, probably, they can go online, see what's going on, and just be like, yeah, we just got to lay low for a week, and then it's probably fine.
No, it's a tough thing, man. I genuinely don't fault like if I was living in Mexico or Guatemala or whatever.
Every person watching
and,
right
like,
now would do the exact same thing. Every single person.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I don't like it's the administration's fault or whatever administration at the time for, allowing them to come in and whatever. But like you can't fault them. Like you could be mad at them, whatever, but every person would do the exact same thing. Especially when America is on your fucking doorstep. Like it's one thing to say like, oh, I got to get over here from Africa. You're like, I can literally walk here.
Yeah, and then I can just go to a neighborhood where everyone speaks my language.
Yeah, you're like, I get all the same food
like,
I ate. Yeah. It's like I make way more money. It's way better. It's a no-brainer. All right, man, I gotta let you go. But thanks for calling in. Appreciate it, Spencer.
Yeah, man.
All right, that's the show. That's the show, boys and girls. Thank you for joining me again on this episode of Low Value Mail. Dylan Farnham 1488 says that is the night of Buck Broken Ends. Ray DeVito the Gummy says Racine says you're a right-wing podcaster. Thoughts? I don't think so. I mean, I think I know people would consider me that. I mean, it probably doesn't hurt or help that I go on Fox News all the time. I don't consider myself particularly right-wing. I certainly have right-wing beliefs, and I have left-wing beliefs. I don't know. I mean, I could tell you I'm not like one of these people who's opposed to voting for any sort of left-wing person. Like, I'm not hardened in that regard. But yeah, I understand that I'm considered. But like, Schultz is considered, Andrew Schultz is considered a right-wing podcaster as well, and he's not at all. Like I was with him the other night. He's not at all. And Dylan Farnham says $1 million idea. AI Min Conf into African guy voice. Oh, AI Mein Kampf into African guy voice. Would Super Chats not let you type out Mein Kampf? Or is you self-censoring yourself? You could do that. Yeah. I mean, Dylan, nothing's stopping you. They probably like that. I don't know if they have much money though. That's the problem. That's the problem with the $1 million idea is you go, okay, well, my market to sell this to is fucking Kenya. You go, okay, well, good luck with that. Shout out to the artist formerly known as Vince and Iron Metal Bill Dank, members of the Low Value Mail. Iron Man Metal Bill Dank. Pretty funny. I posted a clip from Bill today from last week's episode of The Bathhouse, where Bill was talking about how he shot a deer with a 30-06. He called it a 30-06, where people were jumping all over you. They're kind of rolling their eyes. But Bill, people were calling you Israeli Plant. Israeli Shill Bill. That's your new nickname, Bill. Israeli Shill Bill. Because you dare say that you shot a deer and there was no exit wound with a 30-06, essentially saying that Charlie Kirk was not murdered by the Jews. Israeli Shill Bill, everybody. All right, that's been the show. Thank you very much. See, the Goob says Danny is so middle of the road, it's infuriating. See? I'm here to infuriate. That's what I'm here for. That's been the show. Oh, man, we did almost 3 hours. Look at that. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me. If you'd like to support the show, leave a review on Spotify or follow the channel on Spotify or support the show, patreon.com/lowvaluemail. Shout out to Gerard, best producer in the game. Take that, Mark. Good night, everybody. I'll see you next week. Bye.
I'm really a poet, you know it, all my shit heroic. Empathic abilities, yeah, my face be also stoic. Bleep, blow up, nigga, that just means I'm working. They see me as a leader, so that's why I'm Captain Kirkin. These tracks from the stars, that much is for certain. You can feel this hit if you up or if you hurt. I'm raising my stock, not talking my feet in some Birkin. Number Johnny 5, got a fucking short circuit. Bring the track to life when I spit phenomenally. When I hit, she feel that shit in her abdominals. These rappers make me laugh like comic view, they comical. You know I got a ball out, I hit the track running just like Sonic do. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, and they tried to down me on some KO type shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, now we pulling up fresh on some flight shit. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, then they tried to down me on some KO type shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, now I'm pulling up fresh on some flight shit.